welcome to the Codcast. It's gonna be a great episode this week. Ben is back from his skiing trip. How was your vacation, bro? Was it a good time?
It was good, other than spraining my LCL at the tail end of the trip.
Tail end,
Colorado
though.
was great. Tail end. Colorado was good. I mean, unfortunately, I went with the worst season they've ever had in 30 years because it seems like the East Coast got more snow than the West Coast. But I had a good time. It was a good refresher because we got an absolute sprint until you and I get on a flight soon to see the UK Mandem.
Yeah, that was a good time to go on a trip, man, because we are in the thick of it. So I hope you had a good time, but it's nice to have you back. We had a fun episode last week, got real animated. And today it might get back to those levels because there's some crazy storylines going on with some of these teams. We have breaking news. There was literally, as we went live, these guys no ball, 12 p.m. is when you want to put out these tweets. ReaaL, Toronto have parted ways with ReaaL, and now assuming he's an unrestricted free agent, so people should be able to just go and scoop him up, which is a huge move in the landscape of COD, especially where some of these teams are at. Ben, you said you might have a good idea of where he's going. I want to kick this off with you. Who do you think he benefits the most right now, and who do you think is realistically even a player in picking up ReaaL? What teams could be potential suitors?
I'm not sure because I don't think that he should go to take a step down to like a Boston or Carolina. So, it's possible that there's a situation maybe with Toronto where they're placing him to let, Jose have more options to choose where he wants to go to. A team like a FAZE will probably get into it here in a little bit. They potentially be looking to rotate in an SMG player. But I don't know. I have an idea, I think, of where he's going, but I'm sending some text and I'll let you know if I get any responses before I come back in on that one.
Sounds good.
You're not a fan of him going to Boston?
I don't want, if I'm Jose, I do think that waiting until after major, if I'm going to get on a team, I'll wait until after this major because better options should open up. Boston's not a better option.
I actually agree with Ben, right? Like, I wouldn't rule Boston out because I like Spart and Nasty, but I don't see the harm. I mean, you've waited this long. I don't see the harm in waiting till after the major. I mean, teams are surely going to want to make changes if they bomb out of the major, right?
Right. Yeah,
Like,
I guess we're kind of close to that point too now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. It makes sense. I'm more like, I was more thinking in the sense of like, I think if Boston's sub situation gets better, I think they're going to be actually a good team, right?
I
Like,
agree.
Their AR situation is pretty solid right now, to be honest.
No, I mean, I agree. I just think like it's one of those situations where you look at the leaderboard if you're ReaaL and you're like, Gentlemates and FaZe are both struggling. It's like,
yeah.
And by the way, his and Challengers Elite picks back up today. Like his team is really good. That Omen team has been playing excellent so far in the Elite, and they'll have a very good chance to make noise at Birmingham. So I wouldn't disrupt the cycle you're on for the next 2 or 3 weeks. But Boston needs to make a SMG change. They'll make an SMG change also after this event. So I think patience, and I wonder if maybe again Toronto released him just to give him a bit more flexibility into potential destinations.
Yeah, I would 100% wait. I just want to chime in to Jacob's question real quick. The most unethical 83 record breaking ever, bro. This guy had what, 40 free throws? I just can't. We can't be gassing this, bro.
It got a little bit unethical at the end for sure. I just linked Luis, who's the director of team operations over at Toronto, posted a tweet. It's gonna be translated from Spanish, but the key part in this what I just sent in the chat.
Here, drop it again.
He says in the middle.
I got it.
Drop it. In the middle, he says, "We've analyzed every possible scenario, always seeing what's best for both the player's future and ours. In the end, we've come to the conclusion that this is the best for him and what will make him the happiest. We mutually made this decision," which reads to me like there was not really. They couldn't come to an agreement on where, like, either there was no market for him from a buyout standpoint or a trade standpoint, or he has to be released just to give himself a breathing period of just not being attached to a team in order to find a future destination. Like that's how I read it, right? You guys read the same?
I mean, that's kind of how I read it. And then they must just be super comfortable with their current roster, believing in the future. And also ReaaL must have been talking to potential teams as well, right? If he went and requested like to be released. So yeah, I think it's
People
safe to
always
say,
talk.
we can expect ReaaL on our roster next split. But Ray, as I heard you, kind of talking about the Boston thing a little bit. If you're ReaaL, would you consider joining Boston before this major? Because they're sitting in they're 3-5, and they're tied with FaZe. They can still make it into the play-in. If you're ReaaL, like, what would you do? I guess.
Would you? I think is it fair to assume that ReaaL is probably the best submachine gun option that's going to be available now and post major two?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So
assuming
then,
someone doesn't pop off a major two that we don't expect in
yeah,
challengers.
but even then, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that's really going to change. The experience he got last year and shown capable, like consistency wise, obviously had a rough start of the year with the team, but I think we can all agree that's maybe more of a team thing going on.
Yeah.
Uh, I think he's not in a rush. Like if you're in that position where you are the top dog and most likely will remain the top dog in terms of what teams are going to sort out for a sub, then you're the world's your oyster, bro. Like you don't have to make any kind of rash decision. Yeah, exactly. So I don't. I'm always more kind of like just directly thinking of like if he's trying to get in before major two. Like I think that's probably a position he could take right away. And every time you see a player being released timing wise like this, you assume
Yeah.
that maybe he's got something in the works right now.
100%. Yeah.
But I mean, if that was his intentions anyways, like I mean, Toronto probably don't want to keep paying a player that's not going to play for them. So
Yeah.
I think in the same way. So it's interesting to see how kind of this is played out. And I'm always like curious, like I don't know. I mean, Ben, you could maybe speak more to this. The contracts that I've had signed with players on the teams that I was on didn't really incorporate, at least not as far as I can remember. Maybe early on in the first couple of years, but the bench like pay drop, is that a consistent thing throughout the league for the most part?
Oh, it goes down, you get benched.
Like, yeah, I don't because I've never seen it on my end. Again, I might be tweaking here and not remembering what it was early on, and when the CDL first started. But at least for the last few years, at least my Vancouver years, those I don't remember those being things on contracts. Like if you were releasing a player or if a player was benched or whatever, like you're still paying him the same amount you would pay him if they were playing.
So then that makes more
I think
sense.
it depends. It depends on the team. I think some people definitely had it. I think some orgs didn't do it. It just comes down to what is the org asking in negotiation, what does the player asking in negotiation, you know?
But from what you hear, is that something that a lot of players have, or is that just something that is not?
It's mixed. It's mixed. It's not a standard thing. Every team and player approach it differently. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then on that end, let's just say you didn't have a drop in pay, then yeah, Toronto's still paying him a good amount of money.
Yeah.
So you don't want to keep doing that.
Who does he benefit the most, you guys think? Like who do we think would be in the mix for him? Because I definitely think we could see FaZe in the mix if they continue down this path. As wild as it sounds, I mean, obviously they're not going to make any rash decisions now, but I could see a reunion with Miami if the major doesn't exactly go their way, or if they have like kind of a repeat performance. I like the Miami team, don't get me wrong, but we know the ties there. We know the players are still really cool. And Trakes and Metals are both playing well, but there is a world where if Miami don't perform, that could be potential. And then after that, it's like off to the races, right? It's like the Bostons and eventually Carolina. So I think he'll have options. But yeah, if you're ReaaL, obviously FaZe is probably the one you're eyeballing heavy. But yeah, we'll see. But
yeah, FaZe Gentlemates. I can see the
Gentlemates
thing, but I don't think they're at a roster change point right now, and they may just miss out, even if there's an old circle the wagon situation going on there.
I know we're gonna talk. I see on the sheet it's talking about later, but you guys actually think Gentlemates are gonna rust? Like we're sitting here actively opening the potential of Gentlemates making a roster change after winning Major 1, regardless of their like recent struggles.
I mean, yeah, it's always open, right? I mean, we've seen people win championships and drop people. I think with Gentlemates though, this is a pretty big collapse. We're going to get into it. I'm not saying they should by any means, but it's for sure on the table. You're 12 and 15 map count. You're 3 and 4, and you're on a 4 loss streak, I believe, or 3 loss streak. And you're losing to teams you absolutely should not lose to. They've lost to Surge and C9.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, everything's on the table, bro. And we know that organization wants to win, and they got a major coming up that they want to be good at. So yeah, we'll get into that. Let's kick things off though. That was breaking news, but we're going to start things off with FaZe. So there are 2 weekends left, and currently FaZe are tied for 10th, 11th with Boston at 3-5. However, they would lose the tiebreaker to them because they lost to them 1-3. At this point, it's safe to say FaZe are wildly inconsistent. Let's talk about what the issue is, and if they don't qualify, what is to come. Ray, let's kick things off with you. We talked a bit about FaZe last week, and kind of how they're just in that bubble with all the teams like LA, like ReaaL, Miami, G2 are kind of playing up and down in their competition, pretty inconsistent, and have some things they need to work on. This week, though, FaZe had a big win and a big loss. What did you see from them, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think from the start of the year, like my feel on the situation hasn't changed at all. I think it's just purely consistency issues. Like we've seen him have really good moments and just moments that are just not alike what we're used to seeing from FaZe from an organization standpoint at all. It's I hate the idea of talking about individuality and players. Like we can talk about players underperforming all day just based on stats. Like sure, like that's the easy thing to do from an outside perspective. I think in the same light of like the Toronto situation where the team wasn't playing, I guess, the most efficient way, and some of the ideas and the pacing of the team was wrong. Kips definitely helped out with Toronto. We'll get that in a second. But I kind of see the same kind of like problems going on with the FaZe camp right now. And I mean, everyone brings up 04 as a name. Like obviously, I worked with the kid last 2 years, and I can tell you right now that he's a very good player, has a very good mind for the game. I don't think this team is like actively thinking about a change as much as other people on the outside are thinking. Just from my perspective, like I spoke with I was watching 04 stream the other day, and I was asking him like how things are going, whatever, just chit chatting really, and he said their scrims are going really well, and that's always like a good sign for a team. If your practice is doing well and your matches aren't going as well, then again, to me, that's more of a consistent thing. We're not just failing as a whole. Like
Yeah.
it's not a dire situation across the board. Granted, you want to perform matches, but they're still early in the sense of this team. Like if I'm simping, especially Simp, like bro, he's had the same 3 guys for was it 4 years now? Like that adjustment period, granted, is maybe shouldn't take as long as it's taking now, but it can. Um, and to me, it's more like the idea of like how they're playing, how they're going about things. To me, is the bigger issue. And I think if they find their way there, they'll find the consistency they're missing, and this team will be fine the way it is. I don't think I hate the idea of this team making a change personally. I just don't think it's the way forward.
I actually agree with you. And usually I'm kind of like, teams start slipping. I'm like, maybe entertain it. I think this FaZe team has the right makeup. You just need these guys to, find a little bit more consistency, change their play style to suit this game better. But for them, it's been kind of back and forth. Like they figured out their hard point early this stage. It was really good. And the surge fell off. And then it's kind of flip flop a bit. And you look at the rest of the league, kind of let all these other teams make changes, and you guys just continue to grind is my thought on it, because they showed me enough at the first major. I mean, they were one play away from being in the grand final.
Literally. They're up 5-2 in the losers final, bro. Like
yeah. And I would be more like inclined to say they need a change if the rest of the league wasn't the exact same. Like literally 2 through 9 or 10, whatever it is, I feel like are all the same team right now. Like ReaaL, Miami, FaZe, G2, LA. The only team standing out is Optic. But I'll kick this over to you, Ben. Same question. Like, what are your thoughts on FaZe and kind of where they're at?
I couldn't disagree with you guys more.
Really?
Because they've been inconsistent since the beginning of this year. And part of that, I think, was obviously an adjustment period with it being a new team. But we're now into almost the middle to end of March. And I just think this team's MO has been the same since December. Like, I think Simp has given some pretty consistent performances. We obviously know his level of caliber. I think I said before the season that I thought Abuza could play an MVP or an MVP All-Star level. And he's definitely played at times at an All-Star level, though he's struggled a little bit this stage when they've been really on this poor form run. I think the problem with this team was the same problem they had off the rip, which is they have 2 X-Factor players. Dak's always been inconsistent, even when he's on Thieves. He was always an up and down player. That's fine, because he was never the guy on the team that dropped a 1-3. Like he was, he was in there for his S&D intangibles, his leadership, his work ethic, and that's fine. You can live with that. I think the biggest issue for this team, unfortunately, is it's a game about getting kills. And I do think, and I've witnessed them scrim in person. I think 04 is great in the room, and I don't think their practice is terrible. But the problem in matches right now is he's dropping a 0.86 in S&D and a 0.85 in overload on the season. And at some point, you can sit here and wait for him to figure it out individually. But at some point, you got to sit here and be like, it's a game about kills, and he can't get kills consistently in a series. And are we going to wait until the end of May for him to figure it out when we keep losing CDL point after CDL point? Right now, they're in a good position in the standings on the course of the season. They're not in danger like Optic was last year. Potentially, there was a time in a period where you could talk about Optic not making champs. It was that bad. Their FAZE are not in that period right now. Yeah, they're in a bit of a position right now where they need to at least win one, most likely two of their, ideally three of their matches. So they're not in the play-in, but realistically, to make the event, they just need to win one of the next three. That they should be able to do that. I have a feeling they're going to have a bad stage, but I don't know what does waiting do for you.
I mean, you improving it better.
No, let me finish. If there is a player out there in this market that you think makes your team better, and you don't think 04 is going to figure it out for a very long time, you got to make the change. I think you can't let other teams get better. You can sit here and wait for a fucking fantasy that may never come. I think we've seen at times this year when 04 has played well, what the team should be and how it plays out. And I'm not asking 04 to drop a 1-5. If he can do what he was doing on our team last year, Ray, where he's going a couple of kills negative and that classic 0.97, 0.98, it's all going to come together with this team. Well, but let me finish my point. I don't understand this year how he has such a low first blood win percentage rate. It's in the 30s. I don't understand how I watch overloads and he's just consistently throwing his life away going double negative in matches. He's got individual things that he has to figure out that's, I think, holding them back before we even talk about some of their other issues.
Yeah, this split 04 is a 0.87. I'm just going to back up some of Ben's points here. In S&D, he has 0.5 kills per round with a 0.77, and his opening dual win rate in stage 2 is 26%. So to Ben's credit and to his point, he is 100% individually underperforming. But is this an all in 04 thing, or is this a system and an overall phase problem? I'll kick this back over to you, Ray, to reply.
Like, to me, like, let me just put this question on Ben. If you're like eye testing, watching whenever they're on his PoE, do you feel like he's losing gunfights? Do you feel like he's dying without his gun up? Do you feel like he's being in positions that aren't good to create, like, I guess, individual scoring in terms of like kills and whatnot? Like, what do you feel like if you're trying to assess 04 from an outside perspective? What do you feel like are the issues?
I think in Overload, he's not shooting his gun enough. He's near the bottom of the league right now, I think, in damage in that mode, and sometimes in hardpoint. I think he started to figure it out this split a bit in hardpoint. He's going off to some really good starts on these maps, but the other two modes have been really rough. In S&D, I don't know what it is, man. Last year on your team, like, you guys were pretty good off the rip of rounds, and then I think your weakness was really closing out rounds, Ray, if I remember correctly. And this team generally
Yeah.
Your guys' first blood win percentage is really good last year, but then when I watch you play, you guys just scam situationals. This year with this FaZe team, they've actually been pretty good in the situationals. Unfortunately, oftentimes it's not without him. And when they actually get blood, when he gets blood, they actually don't scam quite a bit. So I don't know what it is with him off the rip of these rounds. Like, is he too easy of a read? Is he whiffing on easy kills? Are they not setting him up to roam enough to find entries? I'm not really sure, but like, you can't have a player shooting 20 or 30% on opening win percentage when they're also the volume player in that engagement. If they were the fourth on the list and they're getting in that engagement, 1 out of every 8 or 9 search rounds, you live with that. But go look at how many times 04 is involved in a first gunfight result of a kill or death, and it's a significant number of rounds.
I will say we did talk about this weeks ago. I think it was like the first week after the major, and we talked about how if like 04 is the player on the team where if FaZe isn't playing well, his stats are going to take the biggest hit. That's just how it goes. If the system is broken and if their stuff's not working, he's going to take the biggest hit because he's the guy that's flying out, that's trying to be the playmaker. And that's also part of what we're seeing. Because, I mean, even in the series we were just watching, like on the map 1, 04 is finding kills. They're still down 60. Like, he was 16 and 11 just now. They're still down 60 points. Like, it's not just him who's underperforming. So I do want to put that out there. And even at Major 1, where they played well, 04 wasn't lighting up the stat sheet. You know what I mean? So it's just a bit different with him as a player in my mind. And when I watched him, I'm not necessarily saying like, 04 is straight up costing them. Like, when I watch the matches. So when you go back and you look at the stats, they're not that great. But
I disagree. I think even if they had beaten Gentlemates, they were getting waxed by Optic in that finals. And like, I just think in order for them and the way for this team to win, I think they need all 4 players to fry. And I just think 04 has gotten positive in like a handful of series this year. Again, doesn't need to drop a 1-2, but he's got to get close. And now beyond it just being 0.95s, it's now in the low 0.9s. And I'm gonna be honest, when you watch Overload, I think he's the biggest offender of their problems because he is just, they are getting 3 or 4 kills, picking up the ball, and then he's instantly dying.
We were saying the same
sudden,
stuff about Kenny, Ben. You were saying the same stuff about Kenny.
Yeah, and look what Thieves did.
They would have been the same.
They
would have been the same.
They definitely got a little bit better.
They would have been. I mean,
and they lost a phase.
Yeah, and they lost phase.
Yeah, I'm aware they have.
Sorry,
you guys are missing the. You guys are missing the point. 04 isn't the only. 04 isn't the only issue with this team. You know what I'm saying? It isn't the only issue, but it's the easiest to solve issue right now, of all of the things. And I think he just needs to individually play better, or they are probably going to make a change after this stage.
I mean,
is what it
is it 04's fault? We're
not going to wait.
Just in the sense of
this is on Zach. I don't know. I mean, okay, go ahead, Ray.
If you're talking about making a change, let's just put the change thing on the table hypothetically. You're putting who, ReaaL in for him?
Well, I think it kind of. So the thing with the Challengers SMG market right now is that it's a bit of, you have a bit of like unknown players, and you have some retreads who have been in the league and have had mixed results. And the problem is that you and I kind of know the style of players that FaZe want. Like they don't really want, they're not trying to get like a rogue SMG type.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to mold their system around. There's a couple of those sitting out there in Challengers right now. You could get a Luca. He has run a sub more for his team, but he is more of a natural AR player. So there's a bit of a role problem there you'd have to figure and work through. You could go for a player like a Nox, but his English is not that good. So you're already, this team's comms are solid, but like it would take a big hit if you do that. That's the thing, is it's like they're going to have this, someone said ASIM. I know ASIM's playing good in Challengers, but we know that at this level, ASIM can also be a little bit inconsistent from a slang standpoint. So I'm just curious what FaZe is going to, if they go to this major and they get top 8, like if they have a player out there that they like, they might go get said player. If they don't like the market, I could see them maybe waiting a bit. But
wait, Ray, you said you talked to the players a little bit, right? Like 04? Because I heard that in scrims.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I just heard that in scrims, like their overload record was like crazy, like 24-2 or something in like the span of 2 weeks. So
yeah,
it's
I didn't go into specifics. I just like overall they said their scrims are going much better than their matches. So it's like take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. But
to what extent is that actually like if your scrims are going well and it's not applying to matches, then something's different, right? But again, I think to me, if you look at the team in general, like again, all we get to do is weigh the strengths of a team based on what we see in matches, which again is a very small part of what they actually play. Like, yeah, sure, we can talk about changes all day if we want to, but they've had 2 bad losses this stage, maybe 3. Like they got 3 by Miami to start the stage,
and the Boston loss,
and then the Boston loss. Like G2's been, for whatever reason, has had their number. And then ReaaL, I guess you can also argue, but ReaaL, like those teams are on the up. Those teams are playing good. Like again, if we come back to what we did last week for the tier list, like I think just all the teams they're losing to, maybe for the exception of Boston, are all kind of the same echelon as they are. Like Boston's the only loss to me that just kind of like was eye opening in a way. It's just a competitive league, man. Like I get it. I get the idea of trying to make changes to be better. I just, to me, like, I mean, again, I'm a bit biased here, right? I'm not going to hide behind a wall on this. Like I had 04 on my team last year. I know what he's capable of. I know the success I had with him. I have a hard time believing that they can't find success with that player. But yeah.
How long are you, if 04 continues to play at this level and he can't improve, like how long do you give him? Are you giving him 6 months, or are you at some point putting your foot down?
I think you need to figure out why. Like that's kind of like, I mean, we're not part of the behind the scenes to understand why he's having the struggles he's having. If we're feeling like he's struggling, like statistically, obviously not doing the right part. Are we saying, like, are we assessing that FaZe's issues are purely kills?
I don't think it's purely kills, because I think they're a momentum team and that has a little to do with kills, but mostly I think some.
Wait, why do you think they're a momentum team?
They've been bro, because when I watched him in like Hardpoint, like they just, this team to me has got like 2 years, and occasionally against shitties they show a 3rd and 4th gear. But like it is a reason that like I think that they struggle against a team like Optic, because I just don't think that they have it in them with this team to just pummel a team off the rip and just kind of end a map 6 or 7 minutes in. I just think every map they're going to play can always play is generally close, I guess, unless they're playing like a fucking absolute like shitty team.
I'd have to go. I
Like,
gotta go look at the individual stats, but I feel like Simps had a lot of slow starts this split as well. Like on a lot of these hard points. Let me go back. Let me look at the individual stats, but I don't think anybody's jumping off the page besides Abuza right now. Yeah, Simps.
I mean, I'm just telling you, like, I see the vision of this team. I see the vision of this team. They play some pretty good fundamental COD. When they play confident raid, this team actually does play with some decent pace. Like when they actually are in flow, they do a really good job of you've talked about a lot, getting that third or fourth guy instantly dead. Like just surrounding that guy, giving them no space, and then taking the proper map control and taking routes no matter the game mode, right? The problem is they don't get in that position enough because they're constantly chasing the game right now. And I think unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with one player. I hate to be that guy, but it's just I don't know. I don't think we're in an era of COD where it's super easy to work around a guy that's just giving you.
No, he's got to play better. I don't think anybody's disagreeing with that.
That level of a ceiling, it's tough, man.
But how do you get him to play better? That's like, I mean, you go back and you rewatch the Optic series. I mean, you got broke on Grandma's twice, back to back, where the whole team's just sitting back, just playing their life, which is 100 seconds of time. Where, if to your point, if they are a momentum team, that changes the whole series. And then you move over to that Overload. They just looked lifeless by that point. So they did have a big win. I mean, everybody's getting blitzed by Optic. It's not like they're the only team that lost to them. Yeah, they had a big win versus LA
but they've lost to some teams in this split they shouldn't lose to.
I mean, I definitely agree, but everybody has
losing map 4 to Boston. Okay, like losing the way they did to Falcons and Boston back to back, like I find unacceptable. Losing to Minnesota.
Wait, a Falcons loss is fine. Falcons are a good team. Like. I get the fashion in which they lost.
The way they lost was bad, though. Like, the first map was mixy. I remember that series vividly. The first map was mixy. The S&D was clinical out of phase. And they looked fucking horrific on the exposure.
The only team,
no life on the block card.
The only team better than Falcons and Hardpoint right now is Optic, in my opinion. Like, Falcons right now are unbelievable at HP. They're playing ethical ball, too, which we will get into.
Yeah, but here's my problem is that, bro, like, if this FaZe team can't deal with people that are effective at applying pressure, they're going to do nothing this season. Like, if the minute they play these teams that
you literally just put it on the nose. Like FaZe ultimately aren't playing at the pace they require to succeed in this game and play efficiently. Yeah, that's literally it's as simple as that. Like that's my assessment of the situation.
Go back
in my eyes. Like you can't, like it's kind of like the same thing as last year. Like look at like the start of last year. Was it Thieves won the first 2 events, or no?
FaZe won the first 2 events,
and then Thieves won the last 2. And as the year went on, pace started being kind of like the determining factor of how good a team had a chance to beat each other, at least in respawn. And like Optic at the end of the year was like the king of speed when they got Merc. We were, I would argue, we were the second team in terms of like the pace that we brought with, especially our sub duo was like extremely fast on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why Boston was so good, because like when Persian Snoop got going, what do they have, right?
Right. I mean so got going. Dude, why are we saying Persian Snoop were like slaying a million though? Like
no, they were not.
I think it's just that the speed at which you play is really kind of what gives you opportunities to get in these positions, get kills. Like that's kind of like my basis of it. Like if we're not playing fast, we're not being active in certain situations to create our openings, then you're just not gonna be able to succeed. Like this whole old school mentality of playing the whole map and trying to hold everything at once is just not the way to play COD.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It just doesn't work. Look at all the teams that are finding success. Like even I would have even put G2 on the echelon of like a team that's like starting to put out and like really show like strengths.
Them,
like these
Miami
guys are fast,
and ReaaL, dude, they just changed their attention quickly. Like,
bro, look at fucking Exit recently. Exit's been frying recently, bro. This kid is everywhere.
You're not going to get into these end game setups in Black Ops 7. It's just not a thing.
Well, what I'm trying to tell you, Ray, is like a big product of that is when your most aggressive, quickest player is effective in getting kills, it creates the space and the timing for the rest of your team to push up and play at that pace. When that player is constantly unable to make an impact from a kill standpoint or set up for a next easy kill, it's going to be tough because you're playing 3v4 and like it's going to create an issue. Again, I don't think 04 is their singular problem to achieving that goal, but I think it's the easiest problem potentially for them to solve short term if they want to make a change. It kind of is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think with FaZe, if they don't qualify, then yeah, obviously they're probably making a change.
That's a bad one.
Yeah.
So this is an ongoing story.
They're playing C9. They're playing C9 in their last match, so we can argue they'll probably get the 4 just based on results so far.
But even if they make it,
C9.
even if they make it and lose the play-in, then I think changes on the table. So yeah, FaZe will be a tentative one to watch. 04 specifically, probably the guy that's on the chopping block. But yeah, we'll see. I do think FaZe is a candidate that could just figure it out once they get to LAN. But let's move on. Another team that's having issues, the Los Angeles Thieves. Throughout the year, been kind of waiting for them. At the start of stage 2, it looked like they were going to be back on point. And then they started playing some stiffer competition, as Ben said, and they stopped performing. So gonna give Ben his credit there. He did highlight that. He did say once they played tougher comp, and I was against it. So I was wrong. I thought it was sustainable for LA.
I didn't say it was gonna happen. I didn't say it was gonna happen.
I thought they were gonna stay good. I thought they were gonna stay good.
Can we fucking catch a grip here? They lost 3-1 to Optic, which arguably most of the maps they lost to Optic were pretty close. Like they're definitely a team that brought Optic the most competition so far. They lost close maps to Vegas. They lost They lost both searches. If I'm not mistaken.
Whoa, hold on. They weren't the team that brought the closest competition to Optic. That's not true.
Who?
G2 did. For sure, G2 arguably should have won that series.
Yeah, this split so far, yeah.
Sure. Okay, let's just say they're in terms of like teams that brought like overall like they were close, right? Like I'm just saying in terms of that match itself, like they weren't like it wasn't a blowout, like it was a close game. You could argue that if Thieves would have clutched up in certain moments, they could have had a chance to win that game. They lose a close one to Vegas and then lose another close one to Miami. Like, why are we saying this team is like falling apart? Like, how are we having a discussion about this team not being good? The league competition is fucking tough, bro. Like, we're arguing, I feel like we're using our brains in like the previous years where the top teams just win everything all the time. There's only a 3-4 team league, but we don't have that this year. We have like a 6-7 team league at the top, and we don't need to argue. Optic is for sure far and above the other teams right now, but in terms of the rest of the teams, the second tier is fucking bloated with teams.
Ray, I'm with you.
Go ahead.
I'm with you, Ray. I agree. We have like a 6-7 team league, but I will say we had this discussion. We thought Thieves were going to remain kind of in that A to pushing S tier at the time, and Ben did have some good pushback that maybe they aren't who we think they are. And after watching them play, there's a lot of mistakes on the tape, and I have one I want to show you guys that I think is just like should not be happening at this stage of the year. Which we'll get into in a second. But yeah, just want to give Ben his credit there. He did call it out. And you, in your opinion, you think this... Go ahead.
The two biggest problem for Thieves right now, they scam out of hardpoint holds consistently, even with Neum. And I think that's I don't want to blame Ernie on that. Ray, you remember we talked about that weird black card situation. I don't think that was an Ernie blame in that one, even though I do think Ernie should have played a different spot. I don't think he was the reason he got broken that black card situation. I think it's a sub machine gun feel out right now that's going to take some time between Paco and Tyler. I also think in search right now they're really, really struggling this stage to get bloods, which is surprising for the talent of this team. Their S&D ball is just not that deep. Their S&D bag is just not that deep. And they've started to scam some situations in search. And like I don't think they're a bad team, but I just don't think to your point, Ed, that they're playing with the level of clinicality that we expect. But maybe to your point, Ray,
they're not.
Maybe to your point, we just got to be a bit more patient with them. The talent's there. They're just not executing it.
All right, so let's just get into some VOD review. And Ray, relax with the narratives for a second. We'll talk about this LA team. At the end of the day, this LA team's not where they need to be. And after when they started 4-0, they were 7-0 on hardpoint. So at that point, the discussion was like, have LA completely figured it out? And they haven't. And this is a clip to me, I think is just extremely problematic. So it's early in the map. And off the rip, I just knew this is going to be a frustrating one for Thieves. They have an early rotation over towards P2. 58 seconds. They can get a full hold here. Scrap rips 2 people front. I mean, you're talking some clean shots, Meadows and Rencor. And now right here, I want you guys to just like pay attention. Hydra sprints out of bottom couches. I'm not being like a mini-map hindsight hero here. This is like common stuff like you don't want to do. So he sprints out of couches. We still have full control. They're all coming from mid.
Why don't you want him to sprint out of couches?
Because we
just got 2 kills. Why are we not trying to get info and create a gunfight while we advantage? Just
throw some jiggles, but there's more problems. There's more problems here. Okay, you already have a guy pressing front. More problems here. You spawn up, and now we're just double holding the back, and Scrap's the only guy in time. Now, Ray, this might be your version of ball you want to play. This ain't the version of ball I want to play. I don't want 3 players to be able to hammer my one guy in time. When you're in game and you're playing Den, and you're the one guy in time, if you rip 2 front, the last thing that you want to happen there is 3 guys flying at you couches, and then you getting 1v3. To me, this is egregious. When he spawns, why is he watching the pitch?
Stop fucking talking for a second. Please let me analyze.
I'm setting up the play.
Let me break this shot. This is what I do. This is my shit. All right, let me fucking handle this. Back it up. Back it up to when Paco.
Back it up, Terry. Back it up.
Back it up to when he pushed out front. Back it up to
when 7
I'm delayed, so I'm watching your stream. So yeah, right after Paco dies. Also when Paco dies. Sorry, I'm delayed on your stream. Pause it after Paco dies. So Scrap gets 2 front.
Paco sprints out, he
7,
dies.
Which
Pause.
is a DZ. The BZ bumps out front. This is fine. Paco dies front. He gets info on 3. We don't know where 1 is. So we know 2 are dead. 2 are spawning out either from P4, whatever computers that area on the right side of the map. Right. We know that's where they're spawning. We're blocking the back. There's no other way possible. All we're looking for is 1. We have info on everyone. We know the first guy in line of this next push is number 3. 6 should be sprinting at him. Sprinting at him, chow him, get a trade, get damage, do something. Person in line behind him should be flooding the hill after that. Who gives a fuck about the back?
His timing's off, so he runs the back steps to just hold. And now, what are your thoughts here as well? So when they spawn, so we have for 7 apiece all that front.
Why is he challenging broken though?
6 should have been
worried about them flying broken.
Like, but again, who cares? Like, that person's so far away from the hill. You have the information on what's going on. You have numbers. You play aggressive to chow here. This is free go for everyone, bro. You have 4 of the best players in the league. I guarantee 1 or 2 guys are winning a gunfight. Like Paco, like us saying Paco challenging was a bad thing is a perfect thing to play there. Like if he gets 1, you're guaranteed a freaking clean hole after this.
I don't think I'm on board with that, because when I watched
this is the problem right here. Why are we slowing down?
What do you mean? Why are we slowing? Well, right here, anybody could be around the back if you're A. This is on rotation, right? So this is before he sprints out couches.
I'm saying, you're backing up to a different point in the clip. We're talking about what after Paco died. Like, we have info. We know where they're at. We should be challenged. We have numbers. 2 of them are spawning out. It is obviously it's not a 4v2 because they were play bump. We could argue it's a 3v2
I think the timing in your head is a little bit different, because after Paco dies, there could be a guy in broken window here. So if you're 6, which is Neum, if you're 6, if you're Neum, and there is a guy broken window, he's worried about it. So he sees that guy and he takes shots.
Pick the guy up off spawn.
Yeah, but he sees the guy broken and he takes shots. It's different when you're in game, bro.
Okay, but he's out of the play. Like, he's out of the play. They'll go to. Okay, that guy hits broken and hits the back. It's gonna take him so long to get to the hill. Paco can kill him off a fucking spawn and play that 1. The whole point is either go to fucking hill if you're Neum and play hill, or play fucking couches.
Regardless,
there's a funnel on this hill. It's a pretty easy funnel, because fucking, who just got 2 kills front is Ernie.
Yes, regardless what happens here, once Ernie finds 2, we're pushing out front. We're pushing out couches. And we have Neum, who's slow playing the back. And then when Hydra spawns, he's helping Neum watch the back. So there's just a lot going wrong here if you're LA Thieves. It's like we're pushing out multiple cuts. I think spawning up here and double watching the back as well is also not a great play if you're Paco.
It's not. That's the problem.
I think
That's
this is also bad.
It's the issue of the play, is that we're carrying, like, who cares if 6 dies? He's dying away from the hill. What, they wrap around the back, you just send a guy garage, you spawn up front, you play through the hill. Like, it's simple.
Yes.
What's important? The hill is what's important.
The whole issue with this and why I bring this up is the fact that Scrap is alone in time, and everybody else around him, the decisions are, we're pushing out front, we're pushing out couches. Neum's just like, all right, I got the back, I'm slow, I'm making sure nobody gets broken, and we're just hoping that Ernie can kill everybody who's running through this doorway. That's the problem with LA Thieves, especially on this hill and in general.
The problem is so simple here. It's just that we slow down. We start worrying about trying to cut off everything. That, like, you acknowledge the most important thing to watch here is obviously the hill. But we didn't go to couches to start with. Like, even if Neum chows couches and dies to like go back to the Paco.
We just need 2 people on hill. Like, if worst comes to worst, we got a BZ out front.
You're missing Ray's point. Ray, you've touched on this a couple of times. It's like,
bro, every time, Ben. This is every time. This is the way to play COD now, bro.
People are not understanding this. You can't watch and you can't handle everything. But what you can do is fill gaps with pace and let fucking shit play out
And force
look,
them into one spot at least.
If you flood a hill and these morons in fucking Miami hit the back and you got to play to the front, so fucking.
And they're spawning in the back, and you just farm them.
Get the
it's
fucking
fine.
Kills.
Let them get the spawns with 30 seconds left after that. Like, who cares? Like, it's like you hold one more wave, you held the 60, and all they did is push away from the hill. They didn't even have to try to get to the hill.
And for Neem, he's just trying
to make.
I'm losing
full, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm losing full.
No, it's a good lose full.
I just think this is, to me, how a lot of people see how the game should be played is to slow down, hold everything shit, and it's just not. Like, just please go watch Optic VOD. Go watch how they play.
I think he needs help in the hill here. And for Neem, he's trying to make the right play. He's trying to make sure nobody gets through broken, but he should have chowed it earlier. I agree with you there. He should have gotten the mix faster.
If Neem goes couches and dies, he gets info on all 2 or maybe 3
and he could spawn up and bang the hill.
And then 8 floods the hill, and we have 2 guys watching a single fucking doorway pushing the hill. The push is over. They're going to win that every time. And then regardless of where we spawn after that, we can just flood the hill. We have hill first. Even if they spawn the back, we can jump in the garage and flood forward. Like, we were playing proactive to where the push is coming from, and we're not guessing. Even if we die, we know where the push is coming from. Then we react to what's going on based on what we know, not what we're assuming.
Yeah, I mean, one situation they're all banging couches, like either Hydra can get to hill here or Neem can engage. I agree with that. It's just the attention is all spread. Like, we hit 2 guys out, it's gonna get mixy at that point, unless Scrap has help in the hill.
As soon as Neem slows down, then you're like they have to start thinking about everything, because we don't know. We stop knowing what's going on. Like, granted, if Neem slows down the back, like, all they can really do, the guys mid can be broken or couches. But to your point, like Scrap is low on the hill. Like, even if 8 behind the play just jumps in the hill and we have 2 guys, like,
we can win that situation because they're all coming through hall. They're all coming through couches hall.
I'll give you an example, Ray. Is if Neem hit couches and died, you know what Ernie could have done? Is he could have played side door, guaranteed 1, played his life, wait for Tyler, who's got front push out to watch his cross, and then they react off the information.
In my opinion, you just need another guy in hill there, bro. Hydra spawns up, runs the hill, they win that situation. Like, it's
no, but you guys are all missing the point, though. You're missing the point.
I'm not missing the point at all.
Like, this is where, like, when you start talking about individual POVs and the way they're playing their specific situation is so nitpicky. Like, the pace aspect of things and creating information to where you know where things are going. Like, if Scrap, like, again, I'm not saying like Scrap should have been on the hill, but like, if the guy knows they're all coming through couches, and like we're getting kills doing that. If he gets help, if he gets a little help, like Ant said, through the hill, then we're good. But again, if we keep playing forward, like you staggered to push. Scrap got an insane 2-piece to start the hill. He made everything they needed to make the play happen.
Yeah.
After that, if Neem wants to go like Hydra Child and died, if Neem wants to go and Child and die, that's fine as well. We know we know where the last 2 guys are probably going to push through couches. We have 2 guys in hell. We have a busy front. Again, all that comes from that is we get kills of them pushing hill, and they start spawning in the back because we stop caring about the back. Who cares about the back?
No, yeah, I hear you, and I agree that's the optimal way to play that situation. But I think also COD is really fast, and in this scenario, I'm assuming that Hydra calls out that somebody went broken after he dies, right? We're assuming that. So based on that, Neem's like, okay, let me pick that up real quick. Like, that's just how COD is. Regardless of that, in that situation, in my mind, if Scrap's the only guy in time, we then need to get to the hill to help the guy in time. They're flooding through couches. So to me, there's just the reason I wanted to show this clip is because, one, you could talk about multiple different things happening here, but also it's the main thing where Scrap's the only guy in time, which is incredibly frustrating. So, like, I get what you're saying, where it's like Neem should have instantly banged it, but there's just more to it than that. There's comms coming in.
No.
Yo, there's a guy flooding through broken. He might be getting directed over there. I disagree. I mean, playing the game.
You can disagree. If you disagree, we go on.
Regardless, spawning up and watching the wide pinch with your guy holding broken is horrible. Get in the hill. It's contested.
Okay, Ant. Let me put it this way. You think Paco's making that decision if Neem Chow's couches and he dies to 2 guys' couches and they're all couches?
Think Paco's making a decision to watch the wide pinch?
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't answer. I don't know. He might.
Oh, he's gonna. I mean, bro, if we die, if we lose numbers to people on couch, we obviously assuming they're gonna push the hill. Then we're gonna stack the hill. Like, we have the info where they're at. That's
after what I watched with these, I'm not sure what decision he will make. But I'm just being 100% earnest there. Like, and
it's fine. Just agree with your own sense of things.
No, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. Like, optimally, if he just bangs couches, it's great. But there's nuance to it. He's getting call outs. Yo, one's broken, one's banging through, and Hydra spawn up, watch the pinch. I think Hydra goes to hill here. This whole situation works out, and it's fine. They kill him. They trade.
To Ray's point, though, Like, if you want to play with pace, right? Pace brings information, information's currency, and then we make the plays off the information. You should trust our protocols, which is like, at the end of the day, yeah, one idiot might be hitting broken,
But we're just not
fucking go
always
couches.
gonna get to the spots perfect timing like that. Like he gets there, the guy sees him, there's one broken,
That's
he's
why,
like,
that's
all
why
right,
you
let
have
me preempt it.
protocols and it's how you give an understanding.
So
how
the
you want to play
protocol
every
should
hill.
be get to the fucking hill and help your teammate. That should be the protocol.
Which would have been a better play than what he fucking did. Is the point that Ray's trying to make.
COD is all about like
It's not the right play, but it's a better play
we're making
than
the
what
best
the fuck he did.
decision with what we got. That's what COD's all about. And when that doesn't work, we try to rebound as fast as we can. And right there's clearly a lot of shit going on.
I think, Ray, to your point, what you're trying to reinforce here is to not be reactionary in this game. You need to control the flow of information and not have to react to everything. Because the way that Optic plays is they do that and they trust their guys to make the right play. And yeah, sometimes Ant's going fucking 30 and 40, but at least they're creating space for other people to make fucking plays.
Ben. As soon as Paco dies, we're playing reactionary. And as soon as Neum doesn't instantly get into couches,
no, they're not.
As soon as Neum doesn't instantly get into couches, okay, then we know they probably think they can bang through couches, get to the hill and help. Like
I don't consider a 2 dead information play to be would that be a reactionary situation?
And are you rage baiting right now?
I mean, so in your mind, like that, in your mind,
are you seriously rage baiting right now?
Ray, so in your mind, that play wasn't salvageable if you're LA Thieves.
No, that's not what I'm. This is where, and again, this is my coaching method in like recent years. Like something I've learned is, to me, you always look at the root of the play. Like what happens past, like the first big mistake, in my opinion, is a product of that mistake. And we can talk about like small decision making. Like, yeah, sure, it's easy for us to say like Paco should have banked Hill and helped the player in time. There's no disagreeing there. That, like, looking at it from an outside perspective, that would have been salvageable. 100% agree. But to me, the start of it is the problem. Like the fact that we slowed down after we have info and we still have 3 guys on the map, they have 2 guys, is the issue. That's where all of our problems start from. Like that's the root cause of the problems that happened past that point. So that's what we need to focus on. That's, if I'm a coach, and especially last year, the last few years I've grown a lot on my personal end from some of the stuff that I was doing before, which I felt was not necessarily the best way to approach things, especially for players, bro. You don't talk about every single minute mistake every player can make, bro. It's fucking COD. Like we all agree the game's fast as shit now. Like it's hard to make these small
and that's why
nitty-gritty decisions.
And that's why
some may seem obvious. Let me finish. Some may seem obvious to us from an outside perspective. And yeah, if we have the mini map, fuck man, we can talk about it all day. But at the end of the day, if you have numbers in Call of Duty these days, you should be putting praise. You should be aggressing. Who cares? Like even if in that case, let's say Neum Chow's couches and he dies, then we have even more information about where the root problem is, or the root cause of the next push coming is coming. So then Hydra has to make. There's no decision has to make. It's simply to go where the play's coming from, which is going to be couches to hill at that point. If they want to wrap around the back, we'll know that because there's nobody coming couches when we go to hill, and at that point we're still playing from the hill. We still have everything cut. It's fine. It's easy. It's just you cannot slow down. This is like what I've been trying to preach with pace all year. Is just the idea of like as soon as you stop moving when you have numbers and you try and watch everything, you're giving the other team a chance to get up on the map and play you in a situation where you don't have numbers, like we saw the situation there on hill.
I mean, to be fair here, I mean that's kind of what I've been saying for weeks is you can't get into end game setups, and that's my whole central point around this is we need more players around the hill there. We're pushing out multiple cuts and the Neum's hard holding the back. Now we can talk about the pace and Neum slowing down. I just kind of recognize that when in game shit's gonna happen, call outs are gonna come in, and we still need to be able to, with spawns and with people around the hill, be able to hold the time there. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but I also just think that that's going to happen often where like we don't have the exact time to be able to bang, and Hydra's mindset there needs to be, let me get to the hill and help my teammate. And that wasn't his mindset. And I find that to be problematic. And we could probably find much more examples of that throughout their gameplay. So that's why I bring this up. So yeah, I mean, we can agree to disagree with our method towards coaching it up.
I don't think I've ever disagreed with you more than I have now. And I love you to death, brother. But this is actually pissing me off.
All right, let's move on. All right, so anyways, bringing up the VOD review, we both agree that they didn't play that ideal. The way that we would fix it might be a bit different. But in your opinion, and we'll start with you, Ben, because me and Ray just ranted for a while. What do you think the main issue is with LA Thieves, and how do they approach it to get back to being a dominant squad
on the season?
Yeah, how should they approach their issues right now?
I mean, listen, I think Niam's given them a really much higher kill floor, which is really nice. I like Ken, but I just think again we talked this earlier with FaZe. It's just kind of hard when you're not getting consistent slaying. So I think like for example, Niam had some really good map 3s and map 4s against FaZe. I know they lost that series. I think their biggest issue right now is search. I just don't think they have a deep bag in S&D. I think they scam a lot of man up situations, and surprisingly, this stage, a team of Paco and Abizi is struggling to get fucking first bloods. Ernie, by the way, also someone who traditionally also has a high first blood percentage. I don't know why this team is struggling so hard S&D on that front. And again, at the point that's in Hardpoint, this is another example, especially on this map we've seen this season. This team scams holds. Like they get the kills, they're in the plus situation, they find a way to lose the plus situation in Hardpoint, where there's a team that I expect with their skill, when they get those situations, should be very difficult to have their egg cracked. So if they can improve that and not make mistakes, like I think we'll get back to seeing the Thieves team we expect, where they should be, you know, in the Sunday mix. I think they're still going to make Sunday probably this event, but I don't know if their discipline is all the way there at the moment.
What did you say?
Can I say something that may resonate with Ant a little more? The old way of scamming hills was to over aggress or basically overextend on the play, right? Like I think we can agree with that. Like when like we're taking COD like five years plus ago.
Yeah.
I mean, except maybe a few games where pace was also required. But for the most part, like let's say me and Ant, when we played, scamming was basically me dying for free on my side of the map and not getting a kill because I had a good position. I should have got a kill, right?
Yeah.
I think nowadays scamming is actually slowing down and playing to that way. I think that's scamming when you have
just giving them all the space. Yeah, I mean we've talked about that ad nauseum on this show in particular. Is like, bro, wherever the pressure is where the focus needs to be. Doesn't matter if it's the back, it's the front. Like that's just like you can rebound pretty quick in this game. So like we are 100% on the same page there. But with I think my point is, and maybe this will resonate with you. I'm not sure. But my point is there's a lot of situations in COD now because it's so fast that it's changed to the point where you're just managing all the like shitty situations on the map where it's like, okay, I didn't get the perfect timing to couches. He died. How do we manage the situation? And to me, Optic does that better than everybody. Like in that situation, Niam doesn't get the couches there. Hydra, or if that's Optic, Sachi's just in the hill helping his teammate immediately. So when I watch Thieves, that is where I'm having a lot of problems. Is like trying to make the right play, don't make the right play. How do we rebound? And it's just it's not on the same level as some of the top teams. ReaaL does it really well. ReaaL does it really good as well right now. They're playing some really good hardpoint. Does that mean it's flawless and they're catching every perfect timing? No. So I 100% agree with your statement, your thesis in perfect world. But I just think like you got to rebound in this game. Watch ReaaL play, watch Optic play, and you guys will see what I'm talking about.
I want Falcons. I will say they're really good at this map. They're also
you don't like that, right? Huh? You want you don't
I just
like
think
that.
You compared ReaaL to Optic. I mean, I'm not saying like obviously
ReaaL's
good, but
ReaaL's hardpoint's good.
Yeah, but they're really good. They're really good.
It's not on the level of Optic, but it's good.
At 3 maps, they're really good 3 maps. They're really good at Blackheart and Colossus, and really good.
Really
at this
good.
Map. And I know they were scamming this map a bunch stage 1. The other 2 are a little bit more questionable.
I just have you guys know this is how me and Ray discussed COD when we teamed, by the way.
I know because
and he used to get so mad and same with me.
Comparing them to Optic is crazy because like
that's not crazy at all. Wait, ReaaL are 10-3 in hardpoint.
I heard,
they're not on the level of Optic, but they're a good hardpoint team.
Yeah, no, 100%. Don't get me wrong. I 100% agree with that. I'm just more so saying you compared them directly to them, which again, I don't.
Well, for the maps they play, but ReaaL does a great job of that. I dude, people are they're so like it takes so long to give people credit, bro. They've worked, bro. They're playing well. I think that seems
100%. Dude, I'm not taking any away from the Falcons. I think Optic is so far ahead right now that I think saying that anyone is on their level to me is not necessarily until we see them play each other and like they're actually like did they play each other this stage?
Wait, hold on. This is gonna get stretched and I'm not saying ReaaL's on Optic's level. Their hardpoint throughout this stage though has been in that tier. Yes, I think ReaaL's HP, Optic's HP are the 2 best HPs right now.
But here's the thing with Falcons. This is no disrespect to them. If one or Blackheart or Colossus was removed from the pool after this major, I'm not that concerned about fucking Optic. I am concerned about Falcons if they got to play more fucking like Scar Hardpoint out there. Like that's the one question I'll have about Falcons is like they get one of Blackheart Colossus in every.
What if Optic have to play more Blackheart? What if Optic have to play more Blackheart? Like,
and they're just gonna fucking auto ban Blackheart and play any other fucking map. They'll play Exposure 95.
You can say this for any team, like.
No, Optic's got a deep hardpoint bag.
Falcons are gonna get Colossus or Blackheart in every series, bro.
They play each other in 9 days.
He has to be rage baiting us right now.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
They're not on their level. Hold on, they're not on their level, like overall. But the HP throughout this split has been clinical from ReaaL. And if you guys can't admit that, then I don't.
No,
I don't know what we're doing here.
good, but let me
Again. So they play each other in 9 days, so we'll get a good idea of where they stand.
All right, let's continue this. Let's continue this going though. So for LA though, overall, I mean they're kind of
no. I'm gonna put a pin in this conversation. Falcons have played 12 maps in Hardpoint, and fucking 8 of them have been Blackheart and Colossus. They're 1-0 in Den, 1 Exposure, and 1-1 on Scar.
Okay,
so,
they
yes,
get those in.
good.
They're gonna get one in every series, Ben.
Okay, but you're missing. Okay, I know, but like the point I'm trying to make to you is don't compare them to Optic, because if you remove one of the bang out maps, I think Optic's fine. If Falcons got to play more of the other maps, we'll see what happens.
Are we talking about the game right now, or are we talking about the future as if we know what maps getting removed?
You're not listening to what I'm saying. Just move on, please. You're not listening to what I'm saying. Just move on. Move on, please. Thank you.
I mean, I think that we pick and choose how we want to discuss it. Like, okay, so Optic. Hold on. Let's go into it. So Optic are what on Blackheart? And what are they on Den?
Optic right now. There's fucking Optic. Optic are 0-1 on Blackheart this stage.
What are they on Den?
2-0 on Colossus. They're 0-3 on Den. They're
Okay.
trying to work on it right now.
So they got two.
Exposure.
So they got two shitty maps. They got two shitty maps. What does ReaaL have?
No. So you need to explain the context here. Nobody can beat them on Scar right now. Nobody wants to play them on Exposure. They're 2-0 on Blackheart, and their only loss. No one's played them on Colossus. Their only Blackheart loss is to fucking Carolina, which is a close match.
All right, bro.
Okay,
hold on.
I agree.
Let's go into it. No. Let's talk about it. Since you want to put a pin in it, I'll put a pin in it. So let's talk about Optic's HP. So let's look at their stuff here. So Optic and HP this split. So if you remove Scar, what is Optic? So then they got Colossus 2-0. All right, let's go to ReaaL. So all right, let's talk about ReaaL. If you go to ReaaL's HP, so with ReaaL, so you're talking about an HP team that has map wins on all the hardpoint maps. Then you're talking about an Optic team that has 6 of their 8 HP wins on one fucking map, and you want to put a pin in it?
Nah. Because
what are you saying? This is the team. If you remove Scar, what are they in HP?
And this context
isn't everyone vetoing Exposure against Optic?
Correct.
Probably.
And the other
Sure.
The other context is that Optic has not lost a match this stage, and since like 2 weeks ago, they knew they were going to the fucking event. So they can
we are talking.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish, please.
No, because you're skewing my point. I'm not going to let you finish. I'm not going to let you finish. You're skewing my point. We're not talking about Optic and ReaaL being on the same level. We're talking about hardpoint and what we've seen from these teams. And you're telling me a team that has a winning record on every HP versus a team that is 6-0, albeit Exposure probably gets banned for them a lot. They're 0-3 on Den, and they haven't played Blackheart all year long. So they have a map they literally just don't play. You're telling me that ReaaL's not in the same tier in Hardpoint? Are you serious?
Yes, I think they're in the tier below. I think Optic's in the tier of their own when it comes to Hardpoint.
I think as a team, they're in a tier of their own. HP ReaaL's in that discussion, bro.
I think ReaaL's in that next tier down. I think Falcon's Hardpoint has been great, but to put them on the same level of Optic, I think you're just trying to farm fucking Twitter clips.
Not farm Twitter clips. I mean, but you just try to back it up with like map vetoes and like maps getting removed.
Yeah, because
then you go to their maps
sitting here and
they have one map they're frying on.
Well, you have JP on stream literally this week saying we're only going to play these maps exclusively in the rest of our fucking matches because we're.
Why would they do that? Because they need to get better at them. Yes.
I will say for Optic, their Den Hardpoint is not good.
Neither is their Blackheart, and I think Optic's HP is phenomenal. I think they're the best team in the league by a wide margin. So
JP.
So don't skew it. But like I'm saying, try to take map stats to argue against it.
Optic against any other map. I trust Optic against any other team in the league. Fucking currency.
Optic's unbelievable. No, that's not the argument here. It's just like trying to knock ReaaL for like their maps. I don't think was the right angle for you to take there. Because they're playing all of them.
The other problem with Falcons is their fucking S&D is fucking horrific.
It's awful, yeah.
Exon can't stay alive for 20 seconds at the beginning of the round.
But in their last series, he did, and they looked way better.
I mean, yeah, but that's going to be the biggest issue because, okay, well, let's move on.
We'll get into that. All right, back to, well, I guess we could put a pin on the LA Thieves. We kind of spiraled there. That was fun. Yeah, for LA, though.
Fun, sure.
Realistically, though, and I'll kick this over to you, Ray. Realistically, LA are just in the same like area that all these other teams, Miami, G2, Toronto, really kind of just like in the mix, trying to find their game. And FaZe, I guess you can lump in there as well. I'll toss it back to you. What's the main thing LA need to focus on in order to have a successful Major 2?
I think to me, it's if you like, let's just kind of look at it from an outside perspective, right? Can we agree? And again, I'm fucking feeling like a absolute answering machine, just saying the same shit over and over again. But the difference between how Optic is playing and like if you want to put ReaaL on the same level as Optic and Hardpoint, can we agree that the pace at which they're playing is what's causing most of the success? Like the activeness of being
correct,
aggressive in numbers and playing. Yeah. And again, I think the main thing I really want to make sure here is it's not to say you can't find success playing the slower way, more methodical, trying to watch everything way. But I think from a consistency standpoint, it's just not going to happen all the time. Like you're giving teams a chance to me. Like you're not creating chaos in a way where you control it because you're spawning closer hill than they are. You're allowing a team to create a ball of players that will outnumber a player on an edge and then get numbers and hopefully trade out a situation because they have numbers. Like that to me is like the main difference between the teams that are finding a lot of success right now and the teams that aren't. So not even just using Thieves individually here, I'm just encompassing a lot of these teams that I had considered in the second tier of the league, where I'd say most of the teams in the league actually are in right now. I think that's the difference maker. Like the clip we just watched about the Thieves thing,
it's a perfect example
where we dissected, is a really good example to me
is.
of like where some teams are failing in consistency and not allowing other teams to have a chance to do things in the way that is conducive to breaking hills. Like and this goes into, I guess you can argue it's different for Overload. Like the way Optic is playing Overload is just far beyond. Like they're just so proactive in how they go about things, and I think that's probably the one mode where I say, I mean, pace is a thing, but it's a different kind of pace. It's more about like taking space. I don't want to say everywhere on the map, but like being smart about where you're making people think you're going to play the ball and then playing to the other way, which they're not expecting, which is forcing them to move into your setup.
It's like calculated predictions almost sometimes. Like shots you take space. It's like
honestly, I Overload is awesome to me because it does require a lot of like brain game. Like you have to be really really smart. From a team standpoint to play it at a high level. Like there's a lot of like small like baiting, I guess, going on within the mode about how you go about certain things that can make your life way easier on how you get kills and way harder if you don't do it right.
And it can make
like
you look crazy on the mini map too sometimes because you're trying to like out.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. But I think the teams that are doing those things that will look crazy, the teams that are getting kills doing that are the teams that will be the better team to win the mode because you're giving yourself so much better opportunities to capture points. Like there's still some of the bottom teams that are still like, I pick the ball right, I go right. Like
I got a lead blocker, let's go score. Like
let's just go. Nah, bro. Like teams know how to play defensively again. You're giving team all the time in the world to defend what you're doing, and it just doesn't work. Like that was day one bald. It's not that way anymore. But collectively, again, I think that's, at least for Hardpoint specifically, I think that's where the difference is between the teams that are being really successful at Hardpoint and the teams that aren't. And I think this started like Major 2, Major 3 last year on this method of playing the game, and I would argue the game this year and last year are very similar to that extent. So it's a matter of the teams that are there, like either just really feel comfortable with what they're doing and they don't want to change their ways, or they find success in scrims doing the way the things doing now, and when they get to matches, maybe it's a little different. It's hard to tell. I don't want to assume and talk about what teams are going through in their own world because we don't know. All we can do is just make these random guesses about how things are going for them and why they're doing
pretty much.
Things.
But that's why we're here.
But yeah, I think again more from like an I don't want to say eye test, but just like how we're seeing things transpire in these matches. That would be to me where I would point fingers in terms of like why we're seeing a difference between the better teams and the not so better teams.
Yeah, I will say
it's really just the pace of play.
Niam's been playing pretty good in my eyes, especially some of the overloads. He's been popping takeover for them, bro.
Yeah, he's been frying.
Yeah, he's been frying. He's had some really good maps for them.
His understanding of where pressure's coming from is like very top tier. Like he's very rarely caught off guard into where a gunfight or an engagement can happen. And that again, to me that's a good signal for Thieves to have this player in the team, because again, like I think we all agree that Overload takes brain, and having a new player to the league like that kind of come out of his not come out of his way, but like transpiring to a player that can think for himself and be really smart like that off the bat is not something you see very often. So I'm actually big gas.
You can focus on the other stuff that he's gonna have not learned in fucking challengers, like the extra stuff that makes you from good to great.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to
just
spend a lot of time.
the last thing I want to say about the pacing, to me, that's like very much like a team system that everyone needs to abide by. Like it's not just one guy because, like let's say Travis or the Joe Deceives or the guys that are playing really fast are gonna do that anyways because that's just how they play. Like normally, you need your whole team to play at that level and that pace for it to work. Because if you like in the same instance we just had watched earlier, don't want to circle back to it too much, but like if you have one player like in that case was Liam slow down, then everyone behind that line, like the line gets messed up, and now we're like not doing guesswork, but it's much more difficult to play at that pace when you have a guy slow down the line. Like if you look at how, again, I'll just come back to my team last year because this is not guessing. This is, I can tell you actively, this is how we thought about the game. Like our pace was constant. Like if we're going to lose holes and setups, it was on our end. Like we would just chow and lose gunfights. That's period. Simple as that. That's just what it comes down to. Like I want to see, if I'm coaching a team, I want to see my players lose a setup because we lost a gunfight.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose a setup because we got outnumbered somewhere where we weren't ready for a push. Like I trust my players to win gunfights, bro. Like every
Ray was
guy
saying
in
this in
league,
2014, by the way. It's facts. He's like, yeah,
bro,
if we get
like
broken,
you
just
don't
lose the gunny.
yeah, lose the gunny, bro. Like it's caught. Like it's if
Yeah.
you're in a better position than they are, you will win that gunfight more often than not. So as long as we keep putting ourselves in good positions and we keep challenging gunfights from those good positions, theoretically it should work more often than it doesn't.
Yeah,
That's kind of the basis.
like
of
getting to the hill if you're in the back and helping your guy preem in the doorway. It's a good position. Like on the den, not to circle back to the play too often, but yeah, if you can get yourself to a position for a free gunfight, do that. But yo, I will say I don't think Thieves played their best ball this series. They still went to a game 5. I want to highlight this because I remember watching Abizi making a really good play here, kills the guy front, finds 2 here, which could have potentially spiraled for them. Allows them to actually get this time and secure rotation. Just a huge play from Abe. So there's still a lot to like if you're a Thieves fan. Neum playing really well, especially in Overload. And Abizi's had some really good moments this split for like game-changing maps, like winning the maps. So he's starting to find his flow. And then Ernie's Ernie, and obviously Paco's ceiling's ridiculous. So for Thieves, things aren't looking that grim, and they're just kind of right in the mix with all the teams 2 through 7 as we talked about. But let's move on to the next topic. We just spent a little bit of time glazing them, but we're going to glaze them again because they deserve it. Optic is unbelievable. They're 8-0. They could win the next 3 series and go 11-0, which would be absurdly impressive because you play everybody in this split. I mean, we've had teams go undefeated before, but I don't think we've had a split where you go undefeated and play everybody in the league. So they're Overload. I don't even know what the streak's up to at this point. It's got to be absurd. And just basically across the board, they're the best search team, best Overload team, and like the best Harpoon team. According to these guys, I think they're number 1 as well in that game mode, but it's closer than they may think in my mind. But yeah, for Optic, they're just on another level. I'll kick this over to you first, Ben. What are your thoughts on Optic, and do they have a chance to just win out?
I think to Ray's point right now, they're the quickest, fastest team, and they're also slaying while doing that. And it just feels impossible for these teams. So like the team that can really battle them, it's going to be very much similar to what you saw with Gentlemates at Major 1 finals. Like, can you outclass them in the searches? Because it's going to be really difficult to take a majority of respawns against them. But trust S&D wins you championships. I think there are a lot of really solid squads kind of in the middle tier, like Thieves and Miami and potentially G2. Do I think they're going to figure it out to win this event? I don't think so. I honestly believe like it would be a huge fumble if Optic don't convert this event win. This is the farthest we've seen a team ahead and event for a minute.
They're so good. I mean, they're 16-7 on search in the year, 16-4 in Overload, bro. What is the streak in Overload? Can I even see?
I don't think
they're heading towards Cold War FAZE territory. Cold War FAZE lost like 7 controls in a year. Yeah, they're heading to that category.
LET last year in control was incredible. Like, pretty sure they had some insane stats as well.
Dude, their Overload is so ridiculous, bro. And like combo that with the search, and then now they know like their primary focus is like 2 maps and hardpoint. I'm with you, Ben. If they were to lose this event, it'd be a big disappointment.
I just think it's just everything is lining up for them to go this event.
13.
Yeah, maybe a team on Sunday really challenges them, and then you get 5-6 really good maps in that series. But if they pull up and they pull a fucking FaZe Vanguard where they just end up being the second best team on Sunday after the last 6 weeks, would be supremely disappointing for everybody in that camp.
I have a question for you, Ray.
Let me say something to that point though. If any player, and this is why I don't think there is an answer. I don't think there is one. But if any player, who would you consider the X factor on Optic?
The X factor?
Kyler.
I actually think
Kyler.
I actually think I think Bruce, like when Bruce, like Kyler's been playing really good. Like Kyler's the best. I tweet he's the best player in the game. This split, yes. I think is insane.
That's kind of my point.
Yeah.
When Kyler
I think Bruce is. I think Bruce
plays,
is a huge factor in this team. When he's frying, they're unreal.
But the way that when Kyler plays like this, where he's just an all tools guy. Not only we know what his communication brings, but you can't kill him on the map. It feels him. Bro, I'm telling you, watch
I just think when Bruce is playing well, it's the same thing. You could say it for both of them. They're both ridiculous. Like Bruce,
but Kyler is in cheeks, bro. Kyler is in cheeks. Like Kyler is in your face, and he is slaying you nonstop, bro. That is demoralizing.
He's frying, bro.
Like that is absolutely insane, bro. And I want to give a big shout out to him and Ant. And not saying the other two don't do this as well. I don't think they stream as much to showcase that they're doing it. But bro, these guys never fucking get off the game. Like they are always working, bro. And I think, like you see, I've been watching Ant stream here and there, and they're playing whatever chows, they're playing rank play, they're doing shit together, and they're playing ping pong in between games. Like that is fucking insane,
they got a great vibe going on over there, dude. They just know their shit.
I don't want to single this player out, but Ernie's been on stream and talked a bit about how much he's got to play COD. It's like, I get it. There's some factor.
Wait, what did he say?
Like trying to manage. Well, he was talking in a clip about like the volume of how much they played, and there was a bad community sentiment about it. But to Ray's point, I think like where Optics now as a team is obviously they've been together much longer than all these other teams in the league. Because everybody made changes after the offseason where they stuck with Merck. Like they're at a point now where they just got to continue to apply the work ethic that got them here.
Well, it seems like Optic genuinely loves the game. They
enjoy playing in the facility fucking as much as they can.
Like when you talk to Hook, he's so positive about the game. Like he loves the process.
He's always been a fan of it, bro. This guy loves this shit, and that's like that to me is a pro to have. Like again, it's always harder to do when you're doing it alone. Like I think the vibes that they have together, like they're obviously good friends in and out of the game, and they find enjoyment in doing these things together. But like that's a huge plus for a team, especially a team that's finding as much success as they are now. I think I've said it before, but I don't see them losing the stage at all. I see them going whatever 12 or 11-0 online, and then going to major and probably not losing.
I think they should win.
I said this before the season started, and I know that's a very, very big task, but I had argued that there's a chance that they might not lose an event this year.
Yeah, you said it before the first major. I remember.
But I think this team is just that good, and until other teams start realizing and start adapting to what they're doing and try and I'll use Porter's the Chinaman, where they try to emulate. Like, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Like, see what they're doing and try and emulate some of what they're doing, so you can find. Then it becomes more about like the gunnies themselves.
Yeah.
But until people find a way to be as efficient as they are, it's just I don't think it's a close conversation about who's winning events for the close near future right now. I just think they're that far. Again, from an outside perspective, right? I think they're just that far ahead.
I mean, I 100% agree.
I do think Optic's going to lose one match this stage. It's going to be either General Mage Falcons or Toronto Online. They're going to lose one of those series, and it just is what it is.
What's the stat, Ben? Is it if a team that's went undefeated has never won the major? I think I saw. Is that real?
It's been a minute. No, I think FaZe pulled it off at one point a long time ago, but it's been like a pretty big L streak since then. Okay. Although curses are meant to be broken, Ant.
They are meant to be broken, and this would be the team to do it. Yeah, I mean, they got something. Their camp it's awesome right now. They all love the game. They're playing a lot. They're ahead everywhere. And then, like you said, when Hook's playing like this, they're like unbeatable. But I think Dashy you could put into that discussion as well. Like, dude, the way he's playing Search right now with a sniper in hand.
Oh, it's gross.
Unbelievable.
It's gross.
Also, I gotta say, Brand's taking care of himself, man. He's looking way healthier on the cams, dude. Yeah. They got good vibes over there right now. So he's been playing his best COD that we've seen in a while. And yeah, we'll see.
Can we also say, like, this is not a super big detail, but I think it's worth talking about. Like, he's obviously insane to sniper, but can we all agree that Brandon has like the best pistol by a mile?
Oh, by a mile. Well, now that Beans is gone, yeah.
Some teams like have the sniper, and it's like if he doesn't use a sniper, you're like, he probably is trying to pick up a gun. Like Brandon's just challenged him with his pistol and just wins every gunfight. It's insane, bro.
Yeah, he also finally switched to the right AR class. He was running. He wasn't running the pair grind. He just switched the pair. I went to him and I asked him, I was like, yo, what the hell changed? because he was frying. He was like, yeah, I switched to Peregrine. I don't know why I wasn't using this. He's ripping now.
But I will say for Optic, I think similar to Gentlemate's Grand Final, the Optic doesn't like Colossus S&D. I think there is a bit of a big skill gap at times on Raid. If you can get that Raid Scar combo in a series, like it is the one combination of S&D maps for Optic with a good team. I think that can be winnable at times. I just don't think it's going to happen this stage, though. I think they're going to run away with this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, the major, they didn't even lose a map up until the end, right?
Yeah,
so
that is probably fair. I think like if we're gonna like just play devil's advocate, like the one low point right now is maybe the map pool and hard point, like you talked earlier.
Yeah.
But again, like I think with how this team's going about things, like and even if you look at their, I mean, obviously it's scrims, but they stream their scrims, so you kind of know how they're doing on certain maps and scrims, and their scrims are going very well. So
the crazy thing is
they're not bad at Blackheart. Blackheart, every pro I talk to is like, bro, the problem with Blackheart is it just in matches, it just feels like a 50-50 map. Well, it just feels like that map. But let me just finish the thought when I talk to people. It's like you just load in that map, and it's like the one map where you feel like one team's going to generate so much momentum off the rip of that map, and then it just feels like it maybe not in the moment, but like it's very tough to come back from being down 70 or 80 points in that.
I feel like it's no different than playing a Scar,
more gap.
getting trapped back green. Like I feel like you can. Yeah, I mean, I hear you.
But
I think
the difference is, say, for Optic is like they're one of the best P4 breaking teams.
Yeah.
Like when teams try to get to that money hill, like sometimes they get gifted. That Optic FaZe fucking series is such a troll last weekend because Optic didn't do anything special and just ran through the front of the fucking hill and just didn't get seen.
We've seen enough Blackhearts though.
Sometimes they make really good plays though.
We've seen enough Blackhearts from other matches and stuff to where like you see how a team can just dominate that map from start to finish. Like you really can punish people on it. Anyways, regardless of that, Optic is the best search and overload team. So even if they have a couple HP maps that aren't great for them, it's not a huge factor.
It must look like an insane mountain to climb to beat that team when you go into a match against them.
Right,
like
bro.
There's just like very few areas where you're like, yeah, you know what? Maybe this is going to be good for us.
Yeah, like even like the teams we played against back in the day, like the complexities and stuff, you'd be like, okay, we could definitely win both searches. Right, like it's like you go into a match versus an Optic, you're like, okay, well, we're probably not winning both S&Ds, so now we gotta win our hardpoint pick.
It's just if you're Optic, just executing the standard. For example, there's an event where there's gonna be significant international travel. Just make sure that you're not screwing up that fucking Tuesday and Wednesday, so you have repercussions when you play that first match on Friday. You do your stuff so you can execute your standard. They should fucking win this thing.
I'd be surprised if they don't travel early. Like if I'm any pro team right now and I'm actually like taking that event as serious as you should be, like you should be traveling on a Sunday or a Monday.
I think they are, because I had a long conversation at the first case on LAN, not the last case on LAN, with Paige and Roger about takeaways from EWC, and Paige was like pretty adamant that like, yeah, if we can do what we can to help these guys avoid jet lag, and if that requires us to spend more money to get them 24 hours earlier, like we're gonna do it.
All right, we got to move on, boys. Yeah. So shout out Optic. We're all predicting them to win. We'll see if they do it. Next topic. Out of all the tied teams, ReaaL Falcons, Heretics, LAT, G2, who has the best shot of making a run to the final and potentially besting Optic?
I think LAT, purely on the talent, because I do think that they're going to start to get into a flow, and I think the skill is really going to show through. Do I think that they have the discipline right now to beat Optic? No. Miami's an interesting one, would be my next guess, because like, you know, that team and that unit have gotten close to beating Optic in big matches. Last year, EWC, they almost got it done. And I think
should have got it done.
Yeah, you could argue they should have got it done. I think Heretics ball is really, really good right now, although I am a little concerned that Metals is starting to slip a little bit the last few weeks, but he's always been kind of a little bit inconsistent. There's not much really to pick apart on Miami other than say they're breaking a hardpoint's been really poor this stage. Their search has been unbelievable and their overload's been pretty good. So those are kind of my two. I like
no
G2,
love for G2.
I think G2 are just inconsistent, bro.
I like that. I like the G2 team, but I don't know about
it's got to all click.
Yeah,
it's got to all click.
I guess we should throw Toronto in there too.
Red. Toronto might be good. I'm very curious to see Toronto on LAN, bro. They might be good, man.
Could be.
I love
Pretty
the
good.
fact that we're like talking about like 5, 6 different teams.
I know, right? It's
Oh,
crazy.
you could have said
So much
6-7 there. You could have said 6-7.
Yeah, easily,
man.
easily. But I'm more so just with the names we're saying it now. Like this is, I love with the state of the league in terms of like the competition and the parity at the top.
It's all
this
like-
So
event
much
could,
fun to watch.
this event could be crazy because I want to set the stage up. You're up the standings up right now, right?
Yep.
Anyone that is seeds 6 and above are guaranteed to make the bracket. 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all gonna have to play a play-in. 7 through 10, 8, and 9. And there's a good chance that Gentlemates and FAZE could potentially be 2 of the 4
Could
teams in that
you
category.
imagine that's the play in round one, Ben?
What I'm saying is like you get in a weird situation for this event where they play that those two series are going to be the first matches on Friday,
Yeah.
and then they're going to instantly play. Then they instantly are going to. I assume they're going to get a little bit off, right? They're not going to play back to back.
They won't let them play back to back. Yeah,
So,
100%.
but they'll
Be the last
still be
matches
hotter.
Friday.
They'll still be warmer than the first and the second seed that those teams might be playing. Like, do not be surprised. Now,
I
listen,
think-
Ray. Do not be surprised if an
so is it a-
winners round one match for the top seeds gets a little sketchy.
Is it a 3-day event? Is that
Yeah,
coming
3-day.
Yeah,
Friday,
3-day
Saturday,
event.
Sunday.
And then is there only one stage?
No, the DreamHack had
There's
2
two.
stages last year. Yeah, it'll be 2.
So
They're doing
then,
2
okay.
through majority all
Well,
Friday and the beginning of Saturday is 2 stages.
So typically, what they do for people that play matches, like they'll be, like you said, they'll be the first matches, but also be the last matches, and that's a long day to sit around, bro. Like those are
So the
grillers for teams.
schedule on day one is the play-in, the 2 winners round 1 matches, and then the 2 losers round 2 matches. I believe is the full schedule, and then they'll play the rest of the bracket on Saturday and Sunday. So it's not that long of a wait. They're gonna have like fucking an hour, the 60 to 90-minute wait max. It's not a whole day.
Sure.
Anyways, back to the
So
topic. Ray,
That's what
who
I'm
do
saying.
you
They'll be a little bit hotter.
who do you think out of those teams has like the best shot in a series up against them?
I mean, right now, I don't know if I can pick one. Like,
Fair, that's fair.
I think LET's up there. I still think LET's kind of like better. I would say they probably separate themselves from. I'd say I would probably put Heretics at the bottom of all these teams just simply because of how they go about the game. It's so slaying dependent. And I'm not saying like obviously if they can slay at the extent they're slaying now, then they'll keep finding success. But like I'm just dude, I love this team because their AR duo is gross as hell. But like go to the stats and pull up the team stats.
Yeah, I mean, I hear
You
you
go
too because
to-
I think their map pool's not exactly the biggest as well.
Go to hardpoint KD and then go to win percentage.
It's
on
number
the-
1. They have the number 1 hardpoint KD. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then where are they in terms
I
of
could
they're
pull it up
literally
on,
7th in the
right
league.
here.
They're 7th in the league in hardpoint percentage win with the highest hardpoint KD, and they got a 1.07. ReaaL's got a 1.05. FAZE
Yeah, they're
1.04.
4 and 5 in
FaZe
HP this
1.03.
split.
Like it's just, bro, if you're slaying that much and you can't transfer it to wins, like that scares me. Like it's just systematically they're doing something that's just not conducive to winning.
Yeah, they played
Like,
only
you're
10
getting
and
all the
Scar
kills.
this whole
Like-
month besides this one.
Getting the kills at this level should be the hard part. Like the other part should be, I don't want to say easy, but easier
Yeah.
than killing the best players in the world. So I don't know. I think it's a team that can like definitely. They have the opportunity. They have the ability to beat any team in the league if they get their kills and do the right things with their kills. But just from a consistency standpoint, I just haven't seen it yet. Granted, last year, if we can think back to last year, like they didn't start the year that hot, and then down the stretch of the year, they played amazing. Like they got top 4 champs, top 3.
they
Arguably
turned
should have
up.
been in finals at EWC. Like, and even the last 2 majors, I'm pretty sure they did good. I can't remember exactly how good, but like, and yeah, actually, no, they had to go to major 1. They got like top 3 major 1, right? That was their home event.
Yeah, that
Well, it
was
was a tournament. but it was a
Last year they got
Yeah.
they did get 3rd, right? They beat
So
Yeah.
again,
Carolina
kind of
to
more
me,
so to the
right?
point.
Yeah, that was the
they
Rancor
have the
interview.
ability to do things well, just from the ability of like transpiring the kills. Like, and if they don't get their kills, then I'm super worried. So, but I think G2 is playing at a pace that's conducive to winning. If Skies keeps playing the way he's playing now, bro, this team has a chance. Like,
and their search
dude
is
has been-
crazy.
this dude turned back the clock, bro. Like, Skies has been frying lately.
Wait, one last thing on the Miami thing, Ray, before you jump to G2. Can we talk about
for it.
Super Sniper, Ray? It is
Yeah, it's gross.
like
It's
his
gross.
current stint is ridiculous, bro. You can't
insane,
peek.
bro.
You
No,
lit-
yeah, he's been. Is he like? You could probably put Brain on the same page, but like in terms of like I'm trying to like put this into words. Have we seen any other sniper in the league in terms of individual player actually have like a full-on takeover map, like Super did
Abuza
on that Colossus?
maybe Abuza on the Scar.
Ben Beans did it. Ben Beans did it in stage 1 on Colossus.
Like where he straight up won the map for his team?
Yeah, especially the last round.
Bro, halfway through this game,
Well,
he
I'm not
first
saying-
bloods
I'm not saying
Hydra
one round,
4
like-
times.
Like
No,
yeah,
Ben's the answer to that question.
okay.
He's had
Well,
takeovers.
right. Okay. So let's just say Ben. But like in
I'll
terms
sip
of
to you.
like
Daunte did that one earlier.
there's not many guys that are on that kind of like tier right now. Like, bro, he straight up just won on the map.
One
Like,
on
it's
the
just-
map, bro. Just pop
It was
tape.
it was every round. This guy, it must be so frustrating to play against.
He did it for
like, this guy
C9
just-
too.
He got 6 bloods, I think, right? Was
Yeah,
it
he had
6?
so he had 6 bloods. I think 3 of them were on Abizi and 3 of them were on Hydra, and they were like playing well, and he was just ripping them, bro. Like Super's actually a straight up demon. Like look at the round
these
counter.
are
It's
like-
4-1, and he pops take from here to the rest of the map. Take over.
These are like not only that, but like for the most part, like unless someone's sniping against him, I think most of them were not really snipe on snipe kills too. They're like I don't want to say they're risk free chows, but like he's getting kills where no one's actually shooting back. Like those are demoralizing on the other side of it, bro.
Bro,
Like,
they're
you just-
like jiggling, and he's out for 0.1 second. Like, what do you do, Ray?
it's
like-
nuts, bro. It's
I
so hard
agree.
to play,
I
man.
agree with Zin in the chat. And we argue this a lot in the flank. Like I also don't think Thieves did a good job countering
Oh, you have to snipe
Super
back.
at all on this map.
Do we
Yeah,
feel?
they didn't
Do we
even
feel like
try.
every team has the like? I mean, obviously, Scrap's good with the sniper. I'm not disagreeing with that. I think what teams like, if I was in a coaching position with a team, where I'd struggle is if my sniper's a player that's actually be like active forward with an AR as well or a sub, whatever it is, and I lose that kind of like, I don't know, like positional strength that player brings to
Firepower?
the team in search.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even fire. Like everyone on Thieves has firepower. Let's not put it that way. I think it's more like just the impact that they can have in a search round being up front. Like the sniper can definitely take some of that away. And if your players like styles and kind of mentalities don't match that, then you can find difficulty with having that player snipe. Like I'm not saying that's what Thieves' issue is. Like by all means, I'm just more saying that some teams may run into that kind of issue and they have a hard time picking the actual person. that should be playing.
That's why.
Oh,
that's
that's
why I think
hilarious.
Falcons are gonna have to. That's why I think Falcons are gonna have to figure out because
They don't have a sniper.
But Ray, I also think there's gonna be a meta game soon. At some point, this might be an end game thing. I think people are gonna start to have a second sniper who might, they might try to throw different looks at teams and
Bro,
try and
look at
confuse
this.
people. That'll be a little mini game soon. I
This
think.
is hilarious to me watching this back because I remember watching it just laughing like they have no answer. Like they're like wall banging bottom here, Hydra peeks it, snipe. It's like, bro, you can't peek anything against him, bro. It's just you have to snipe
it-
back.
This is coming from a place where we've just been watching, and again, I haven't been in scrims of professional teams, so I don't know exactly what the meta on that end is, but I don't feel like people are using smokes against snipers all that much. It seems kind of like counterintuitive in a way where like every year we talk about snipers not being used because the smoke is a counter. We have smokes this year. How many times have you seen actively make a push behind a smoke on the lane that has a sniper?
Well, we've seen it on Scar with like the flank through plane and stuff, but it's just difficult. Like if you're playing Colossus, like you could smoke out green, but like as the smoke, once the smoke's gone, like you're in position bottom green. Like they were already bottom green there. He's just like jiggle peeking and catches one, right? Like because they're trying to gain info. I just don't know if like having one smoke, if it's enough with a guy like this, Ray, because he's not in like common sniper spots
That's
every
fair.
round.
Again, it was a question.
Yeah,
I was
like-
just more curious.
Like right here, he's in green tunnel, hard aiming tunnel. Like what? Like he was like, it's just not much you can do. I mean, I said it after. I think you just need to snipe back. And to the ReaaL Falcons point, Kismet's their sniper, and I believe on the season they have 10 or 11 snipes total on the entire season across their whole team. I think Super has. I can pull it up, but I think Super legitimately has like 60 plus snipes, bro.
If I was coaching a team in the sense where, and again, I'm not saying this works, but this is what I would try, especially get teams who's actively using a sniper. Like
this
obviously,
sniper.
it's easy to say you can jiggle and find out where he is before you die, but
Not
in a
versus
case
him.
that you can, and yeah, in the case where you get info on where he is, I would just be active on the opposite side of the map with my team. I would just grab numbers and just go forward because they're playing so reliant on him. Like
And and Ray, if you can, because it's not always easy to do this on offense, but if you can, try to create a situation where we can get the bomb down and force that
All right.
person to retake with the sniper.
Shout
Right,
out to
yeah.
Easy
I mean,
Mac. Look at this, Ray and Ben.
Yeah.
So on the season, Super has 83 snipes. After him's Abuza, 57. After him's Dashy, 52. These are like the good search teams. You move all the way down, and like Kismet has 8, Celium has 2, so they have 10 snipes on the year. Pred has 1, so 11 snipes on the year. And you're just seeing like the disparity. And Skies has 30, another good search team. GWINN's turned up throughout this stage. Like, he is clearing away in a tier of his own, brother. It's not close.
It's to a certain extent too. You could argue that the team strategies are very much kind of like make him the win condition in a way. Like, I'm not saying that's good or bad, but like he's definitely out of all the teams. I mean, you could argue maybe some strats with FaZe with a boost on the sniper. I mean, I wouldn't even with Sib. See, I don't know. I don't know if what I'm saying is actually true or not. But like just from what we've seen, it just seems like when Miami's winning rounds, it's off super getting sniped. So you could argue, but it does. You could argue they're playing to that, but it's not necessarily true. Like even here, you can see like Sib's super sniping the right side of the map, and then his team's actively being pushed on the left. So that
he's just really good with it, dude.
I take back what I said.
Yeah,
I think to be fair, with this Colossus is also a map where you can really easily reposition the sniper because how small it is. When you play like a Scar, we see that sniper a lot of times they're just going fucking top window. So like they can win that fight to blue, and like that could be a big.
This was their first Colossus, by the way, Ben. I think Thieves wanted to play this because they didn't think he would snipe crazy on it.
And now everybody's gonna be shook because it's like, well, Miami didn't play this for fucking forever, and now they just absolutely world start Thieves on it. And like, how do we counter?
Yeah, this map needs to go. Yep, this map needs to go.
This is Scar are the first two, in my opinion.
Please,
I agree.
I'm begging, bro.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm begging.
All right, so we got through that. Spencer. So your answer was what, Ben? You said Miami for you was the team that you think could make the run and go toe to toe.
I think Thieves Miami.
Okay.
Thieves Miami.
Yeah. I got G2.
Like, if we're picking, I would do a G2 LAT to be honest.
Yeah.
Probably honestly, I pick 3. I'm going ReaaL as well. Like I don't care, bro. I'm taking 3.
G2 and ReaaL. I mean, I think ReaaL.
I want to believe in Falcons, but S&D wins championships.
I believe in them, bro.
Right now, so.
I believe in the Falcons, dude. I think we're gonna have a good major. All right, but anyways, next topic, dude. How legit are Toronto? Their 4 wins have all been 3-0s. So if you want to talk about true momentum team, this would be it. And their losses, they're 1-9 map count. So feeling like a true momentum team. They've had, I will admit, they've definitely have looked better post change. Den though, I think I was slightly right about that. They got a series with no Dens. They got 3-0'd. They got 3-0'd into Oblivion with no Dens. And then their final series, they ended up, winning a couple maps that weren't Den, but it culminated with a Den at map number 3. And even in the interview, I was dying because I don't know who it was. I think it was Kleenex. Or no, his insight. He was like, "Yeah, I mean, they decided to ego chalice on Den. Don't know if that was the right decision."
Yeah, we were behind, when we saw that. Oh my god, we were so
start making shirts about his takes the week before, and I'm gonna make him wear them for the next episode. So
I was right though. It was
always Den. Yeah, it's fair. We can argue. I mean, they're definitely their strongest map is Den. There's no debating that.
They've gotten better though.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'll go first. That's okay. Like I think in the sense of like. What they're looking from a team perspective and how they're going about playing the game. Like Kips is definitely way more active in how he goes about things. Like you could argue that Kips is even faster than Joe Deceives in some maps, which is to me a good thing to have. And Kleenex definitely found more form and even insight to the back of it. Like still could argue I would love to see Jamie maybe be a little more involved in what's actually going on instead of being cleanup crew. But I think collectively this team now has the kind of the realm of being a contender and showing up to be like a Sunday team at an event.
A contender?
Like a contender, like a Sunday team.
Yeah, they could. You don't think they can make top 4 this event? Maybe even higher.
I mean, with the state of the rest of the league, yeah. I just feel like with all the other teams, I need to just see a little bit more from Toronto. Like I feel like those series were a lot of Dens was kind of my same point. And then this week they got 3-0'd by ReaaL in what was like a close map 1. ReaaL took flight, and then they played Boston and they won, which. Boston looked awful in that series. Like we can all agree that they were playing terrible COD.
They got 8-0 in the Overlord, right?
Yeah, I won't say I can't see them on a Sunday, but I'll say like I'm cautious and I want to see a little bit more from them. That's it. Same thing I said last week.
I think from a map pool perspective, I would agree. Yeah. Like I think we can all agree. Like, but it's actually like the place they're in now may seem like dire in terms of they're only winning Den. But that's actually a really good place to be because you're forcing teams to veto that map. So if you like now you know exactly what you're going in the series playing if you have a second good map.
Yeah.
And it's just trying to like raise that to a higher point. Like you don't like especially for hardpoint to me, like you don't. I mean, obviously you want to have
glass half full
a good map all across. Yeah, but if your second pick is a really good as well, then you go into matches knowing you're gonna get something good. You're gonna pick something good for yourself, and that goes almost for all three modes really, because they're obviously really good at that on every mode. So
Zin,
I just
to
think
Zin's point in chat, when's the last time you think they were good at S&D, Zin? I'm just curious because I don't like for the second half of last year, I thought that was their main problem. So it's been quite a while. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while. I agree with that though. Until they figure out their S&D, like if this team was like winning searches and looking like G2 was in search, then I'd be like, okay, they can make a run into the Sunday. It's just been a while.
why is that? Why do you feel like they're? Why do you feel like they're?
Because I don't think they have a backbone to fall on in terms of game mode. Or are you saying why do I think they have issues in search?
Yeah, like
We've talked
like,
about this before. I think it's just
okay.
Yeah, we talked. Well, with ReaaL, it was like the island plays. Now I don't know if we have enough like data. Like this one, they went round 11, right? So I think it didn't look as bad. They were getting bloods early on. Exton started to stay alive, went on a crazy streak. The raid hasn't looked terrible. So maybe they're actively improving it. But before it was ReaaL on an island just wasn't working.
I'll tell you what I think their defense problem is, and some of this may just be gelling with Kips, is they were struggling early on in defense in S&D. They still are now with Kips. I think they're near the bottom of the league. It's a small sample size, but I think that's like their biggest problem. Yeah, it's to be fair, yeah, it's small sample size, and it is across a couple. Like they haven't just played Den S&D. They played a couple exposures, Colossus, I think, and a Scar as well. But I think that's probably what's holding them back a little bit in S&D right now.
We gotta wait. I mean, I think they've only played 3 S&Ds with Kips, like 3 or 4. So I can't give an assessment yet.
To me, and I'm going to use last year because again, last year was very involved with knowing how each team plays. I think this team relies too much on the idea of the other team making a mistake and pushing into their setups rather than being proactive and doing something about trying to actively win around. Like, I mean, how many times last year would we see like inside play the back of the map and just be really passive?
Well, he still does that this year.
They love giving space away and then playing to retake that space, which again is not, it can work if it's done well. I'm not saying that it can't, but in the same light of where you look at the teams that are finding success in respawn modes, I would argue the teams that are finding success in search either comes off a sniper or actively doing something together on the map that creates an opening and then they play off that opening. Like, I think again, being like the new school of COD is just being proactive and playing, doing something that's going to conduce to winning, not doing something that's being passive to hoping the other team is losing.
Yeah, making a play is what you're saying.
The way I put that?
Yes.
I think that's kind of like the way I see things. And again, I'm not saying they're doing that this year at all. It's more just a sense of how things were going last year. Every time we played them, we knew what to expect. Like it was very rarely would we see them kind of throwing a curveball at us and we'd be surprised about something they did. It was very kind of like black and white. We get plants, they play for retakes, and oh no, they take their time, go to somewhere they're comfortable in, and then we'd like find a way to counter that.
5-1 lead, Ray? 5-1?
I got a net. I can't see your screen.
5-1 lead, man. Exton pop take. He was 1-5. He ends up getting a Hellstorm here. Yeah, it's tough. But yeah, I mean, even just being up 5-1 here, it looks like their SD's getting at least a bit better. Although this was a huge collapse. Yeah, for Toronto, I just need to see a little bit more. And to Ray's point, maybe they just are an easy read. So we'll see.
They are going to be very interesting to see where the seeding is a clusterfuck this stage, but there's a because of the early losses and the tiebreakers, there's a good chance they're going to be either 4, 5, or 6.
Who do they play? I got you.
Like,
9, Vancouver, and Optic. So they're getting probably, you could argue they'll probably get at least one more win, which will put him.
Yeah.
I think they're probably safe to be in the bracket, right? Was it 5? What do we think is going to be 5?
They have 4. They're going to be in the bracket.
Yeah.
I think 5 is going to be the number to be top 6. 5 with tiebreak. Yeah, 5 is probably the number, just because Optic's beating everyone. Like you have a team that's taking a win from everyone else.
You just gotta see what but the point I'm trying to make is like there's a chance Toronto, unfortunately, because of how the draw this shit's gonna work, is like they're gonna get a round 1 against fucking G2, which will be very interesting, and potentially that'll be
again. Like I don't know if this is my point, like my opinion on things, but I think all the teams in the mid pack can
all beat each other.
It's gonna be an awesome major to watch because like every match is gonna be super interesting to watch. Like, and besides the Optic against the teams that are.
Can I
Kismet
also,
was moving right here. I'm sorry, I was just rewatching.
Can I want to cook. Everybody keeps saying this in chat. Oh, so-and-so team's bad at land. Brother, we've had one event, and you got to not fall the first event fucking fallacy, because everybody does this every year.
Yeah.
Like, first event was a fucking minute ago. It was also the first event. A lot of stuff is going to change. Players are going to play great at that event and not play good at a single event the rest of the year. Let's see how teams play out first before you just come in and chat and say, why on land is mid.
Oh,
All right.
Everyone roasted us last year. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, this team, the Vancouver Surge, are the worst team in the league because they got last at Major 1." We were like 4-3 going to Major 1, and everyone started roasting us.
Well,
for
you
that.
guys
like,
picked up the Lisan Al Gaib, brother.
yeah.
I'm telling you, the first event
what do you
is
mean?
crazy.
Yeah, like nothing changed. Like,
No. The greatest example is go to World War II and go look. If you're ever bored, go look at World War II Dallas. Go look at the hardpoint KDs and who was top, and you'll be fucking mind blown at some of the names on that list. Got to be mindful that metas change. People get better at the game. Yes, like if you're good, you're good. The first there's a good chance that there are people that perform
metas sometimes change, Ben. We need new maps and we should have already had a meta.
Yeah, we do need to shuffle,
point.
but like I just think people, someone going to chat saying KOI are bad at land. Like, yeah, they had a bad first event. They also just dropped the player from that fucking team, and they've been playing pretty good. So
all right, so we are cautiously optimistic about Koi. Is that a safe way to put it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm a little more optimistic than you guys are.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. All right, so next one we need to talk about, we actually missed this one earlier. We jumped it, but Vancouver are coming off back-to-back wins over C9 and the Gentlemates. My boy Gwinnington popped off, went crazy. He was like 40-20, popped off both HPs. He had 2 minutes in the hill. The capsule move seems to be working. And what are you guys liking from the Surge camp? Let's start with you, Ben. They had a couple of big wins, and Surge are finally competitive. What does this do for the rest of the league, and what are your thoughts on Surge?
I think for Vancouver, we know that with Cap, it probably makes their ceiling from a slaying perspective probably better. So yes, I'm not surprised they went 2-0 last week against C9, let's be honest, and Gentlemates who are slumping. The problem is that we're going to know in the next 2 weeks because they play Toronto, Miami, G2, and Falcons. So if they can find a way to go 2-2, it's a mid-pack team's great, but I have a feeling they're going max 1-3. And it's going to be the same thing with this team, bro. They're just scam artist team. They have the talent to hang with everybody, but they don't have the discipline to do it. And it's just going to be a case of, will it ever click? And probably not.
I thought they played really good in these series. Like, it felt kind of controlled. I thought Capstone was
going to... Okay, but look who they played, though, bro. Respectfully.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
I was just watching...
In a bit, but C9, man, like...
I'm just watching them play, and I'm looking at their improvements. And, I thought Cap would come in, kind of just be flying around, but I felt like he was playing pretty controlled. And for the most part, I mean, at least in the C9 match, it looked super controlled. Obviously, C9's not a great team, but then it kind of validated it in this series with them coming in and beating Gentlemates. Pause it, or like right here?
Yeah, pause right there. Look at count the kills on each side and tell me who's outslaying by how much, and tell me the score of the game.
Let's see, 13, 9. So we got there 22, -3, -9. I mean, they're outslaying them by, it's not crazy, but they're outslaying them.
By how much?
Like 10, 9.
And we're winning by how much?
Winning by 13. What's that have to do? Listen, this is Scar, Ray. Like, they're about to blow it open right here. Like, I know you hate when they're outslaying by that much and not winning by a ton, but listen, Gentlemates are a pretty good team still. Like, they just won the major. Surge were bottom feeders. This is an impressive win. I don't think we should sit here and try to downplay Surge's win. I don't think that's the right thing to do.
We're not downplaying it. I'm just saying they play consistently a really good slate of 4 teams. Can we wait until after 2 weeks before we anoint them as being like decent? Because I could definitely see them going 1-3, and then we're just like, wow, these guys are probably getting maxed out.
Yeah, but the point is that they got better. Like, the move was like,
yeah, they got more. They got a better kill floor. Like, I love Abe, but like Cap, I think probably is a better slayer probably in this title at this point than he is. But like,
we don't got any Surge fans in here.
Yeah, but Ant, hear me out though. At the end of the day though, and as you guys fucking know, everybody can shoot this level or should be able to shoot. The fucking decision making and actually doing shit together is gonna be the difference. And I look at the comp on this Vancouver team, TJ, Capsule, Gwynn. That doesn't scream discipline to me.
It doesn't scream discipline, but I mean, you can watch and see like they've had improvement. And Gwynn is looking like the rookie of the year. Gwynn finally. I mean, it's been a while.
Like, well, are you talking to me, Zen, or what? They're way more cohesive now with Abe. But they played 2 matches.
100%.
Like, they're gonna play, bro. They play Toronto, Miami, G2, and Falcons.
Okay.
If they go 3-0, 3-1, or 4-0 over the stage, or it's a gritty 2-2, I'll tip it. if they do what I expect, which is going to go 1-3, then like, come on, bro.
All right, let me kick it over to Ray because Ben is just he does not like the Surge team.
I definitely, I mean, like, let's not beat around the bush. It definitely improved. Let's not let's not say they didn't. Like, that's obviously like that'd be stupid for us to say. Like, I think Capsule brings a certain level of pace and chow heaviness, and he's winning some of these like gunfights that maybe A wasn't winning. So maybe he fits into what they were trying to accomplish from the start a little bit better. Again, like we talked about the sling, bro. They outslayed. They beat, was it 40 total in the series against the Gentlemen? Pretty sure it's 40 if I counted right.
Yeah, and they won the respawn, so that checks out.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna outsay by that much, like obviously Envoy had a bad one there, and the Gentlemen has been struggling, so I don't know if they're the best.
We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not like, I hate to overreact this fast. I kind of would Ben on this one. Like, I'm not saying that they didn't improve. Obviously, they won 2 matches, which is more than they have won for most of the year on a weekend. They definitely seem like they have an ability to take maps on now. Like, they have kind of like a win condition in their way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see, again, the sling aspect to. Are they consistently get outslay teams that as much? Is this really kind of how we look at them potentially beating the top teams and having a chance to beat them? I just don't see it right now. I don't feel like, from a nice test standpoint, how they go on about certain things on the map, I didn't really see them. They got away with a lot, in my opinion.
Well, because they're finding a ton of kills, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, I don't know. I haven't really
map
seen
one. I mean, this was the Den was clinical, dog. Like,
yeah, that's fair. I would say the Den was probably a little bit cleaner on that end. But again, I'm not completely sold on things yet. I think we'll be looking at them a lot closer this weekend than we were last weekend, and then we kind of get back to it next week.
I agree with that.
But I mean, I'm happy. I hate seeing teams struggle the way they were struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it looked hopeless, bro.
Yeah, C9's in its kind of like its own class now because they have like a bunch of rookies. So like we're not really expecting much, but like these guys, like Lunar's been in the league for 2 years now. Gwinn's been 3 or 4. Tej has been there forever. Cap's been in and out of the league. Like you'd kind of expect a team like this to at least have their piece of the pie here and there. But early on this season, obviously different players are on this year, but they were just like hopeless is probably the right term to use. Like it was bad.
I'm just seeing a lot of little things on the map, and I'm not saying Abe wasn't doing these things, but I just feel like you can rely on Cap more, and they just feel more comfortable. Like even this break right here, obviously it's the end of the game, but like Cap just slow playing his life, helping his teammate. There was the one on rotation to P1 where Cap's just hard holding the white wall. Like he's clearly just making the game easier for his team. You know what I mean? Like he's doing dirty work. He's also finding some kills. So like their floor gets a little bit higher, and they should at least be able to be competitive. And I saw what Zin said, and I agree. I'm not saying they're a top 6 team, but they definitely get better from this move. The familiarity with TJ and Cap, his prowess in S&D, and just his willingness to like do shit like what we just saw, back-to-back kills.
They just gotta take advantage of the fact their team got better, to use what is a very open event right now to maybe get a crazy. I know, but like to your point, like they gotta use this as a funnel to kick on their season from here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
some of these players, unfortunately, their MO has been for a number of years, they are not top work ethic players. They're not on top work ethic teams because they contribute to that issue. If they can kick it on with this squad, to Zin's point in the chat, it could be fucking very difficult to beat. Not only Respawn, but in fucking Search. So I want to see what happens next 2 weeks with these guys.
So it's a perfect.
I will say though, one more point that I think is put to light, and I think there are certain players in the league to me that struggle with certain aspects of decision making and taking the right routes to cut and so on and so forth. GWINN spent 2 minutes on the hill and both hard points and absolutely had his way with people.
Yeah.
Like, I think to me, like if I'm coaching him, or if you're in a position where him individually, like bro, if you're having those kind of performances where you're on hill as much as you are, dropping like he dropped 40 first game. While
that's a
having
really good point. Bro. Yeah.
That's you are winning the map for your team doing that. Like everything else is meaningless, bro. If you're getting that many kills from the hill, I'm sorry, but your team will win more often than not. Like as simple as that.
He's in hill again. I mean, he's a straight shooter.
Both maps. Yeah, both maps. The guy can shoot. Like I don't think
get him in the hill, bro. He knows where people are coming from, like, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing for them. It's a good point.
I hope we continue to seeing that. Like it's not, and it's like for the most part, bro. If you migrate towards where the points matter and you get kills doing it, you're gonna win games. Like cuts are obviously a way of having forward to where you're keeping teams away from the point to have a chance to break the hills. But if you're getting kills from the hill itself, that's also another way of doing things where your kills actually matter because you're killing people near the objective.
Yeah, get Gwynn in the hill and good things will happen. We get there early, put Gwynn in the hill, let's make some plays. But yeah, for Surge, we'll be taking a closer look at them this week. We'll reassess next week, and that's a perfect segue into the Gentlemates. They obviously lost to a new and powered up Surge, a match we all think that they should have won. I have a question for you first because it'll affect how we talk about this, Ben. Did they lose scrims versus the pro teams for the week leading into this? Is that like confirmed?
I have no idea. Did you hear that? I haven't asked around about their scrims.
Yeah,
well, they I'm pretty sure they got. I mean, that's what everyone was reporting. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you're talking about they got blacklisted.
Yeah, they got blacklisted.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
They were on playing challengers teams, but they were starting to like struggle. They were starting to teeter a little bit before this week, though. Like if you go back and watch some of the maps from the beginning of this stage, and then like the week prior where Daunte sneaked, like you start to see that their hardpoint game, like the togetherness, the speed at which they were playing in stage one, is just not there. Like what got them to this point, which is the suffocating pressure at which they play of, and then the discipline and S&D just started to get away from them. And now they're like slumping as a team. And like this is the issue we had a little bit with this team. And I don't know how you guys feel about it. It's like they have 4 expressive players. I don't think they have 4 quiet players. And it's like, can they all be high-minded in how to get out of that fucking thing, or is it going to turn to finger pointing that eventually chalks the team? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Blackheart's the worst map like everybody else thinks. I think Exposure is still the worst map in my opinion, and I also don't like Scar Hardpoint. We can get into that a different day. But staying on the Gentlemates discussion here, I wanted to kick this over to Ray and ask him because everybody's been talking about Envoy, and I'm gonna pull up his stats here, right? For Envoy. Where's he at? Oh, I gotta go all the way over. So for Envoy, I gotta sort it the other way, which isn't a good sign. He's not been playing well in stage 2. Where's he at? Yeah, so for him, it is he. Yeah, so it's only Ocus who's been worse than him that's actively on a team right now in terms of individual stats. It just hasn't been going well. What have you seen from their game, and what context can you give to Gentlemates fans who are looking at Envoy like, oh, this guy is just ass?
See, it's in the same way we were talking about 0-4 earlier. Like, it's just there's more to it than meets the eye. Like, granted, like if his issue is straight up just not winning gunfights, then like we can have a discussion about that. But is that what's going on? Do we know for sure that's what's going on? Like, I think this team itself just like went from being the kings of efficiency in Major 1 to now it's just like the routing, the way they're going about certain things, the decision making doesn't seem as crisp and concise as it was before. And they set the bar very high, to be fair. Like the way they went about things Major 1 to me was so good. Like they didn't win the finals against Optic by the hardpoint. Like they won 3 of the 4 searches, right? Pretty sure. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They lost all the hardpoints. I'm pretty sure. Right. Yeah. And then they lost. I think they won and lost 1 hardpoint, right? They won 1 hardpoint.
But like,
and they clutched up in all the S&Ds.
But their hardpoint coming into that finals was fucking. They were like, they were them and Optic were the 2 best hardpoint teams.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like they were very much. I would argue in Major 1 as a whole, they seem to be more like Optic, which kind of struggling in hardpoint Major 1. If I remember correctly, which obviously they figured out now. But in the sense of where Gentlemates was, like to me, they were the best hardpoint team Major 1. So to go from that
coming into it
now,
too.
And most of that to me just again came from how they were going about things, how efficient they were in like aggression. They were following up their aggressive plays. They were playing their numbers. Like the way I kind of discussed the Thieves situation earlier to me was something these guys rarely struggled with, and they were constantly taking aggression and space on the map to give themselves the best situation possible. They make it very difficult in other teams to create anything. I don't feel like we're seeing that anymore. I don't know exactly what it is. Like the sling aspect will always have a part in that. If you're not getting enough kills to create the openings, then obviously to a certain extent it's going to be bad. But I don't know. We're just like it's a weird. It's hard to tell what happened from the outside. Like I don't want to speculate. I fucking hate speculating. I hate when our show and other shows do that. Like there's obviously more to it than that right now. It's not a team just doesn't crumble and fall apart like they are now by just not playing the game good. Like it's not as simple as that. There's definitely more to it in what's going on. I don't know exactly like it, and I don't want to say what it is because I don't know what it is. I don't think it's fair for us to try.
I think we can only really say one thing, Ray, which we all agree. All 4 players in this team are fairly vocal players. Like you can speak to Trav especially. Like Trav wasn't super quiet in the room last year, right?
Oh, I mean, all
Right?
of us were not quite in the room. Like, then that's
Yeah.
not a bad thing to have. I think it's a good.
It's
thing
not a
to
bad
have.
thing. But like it can be a bad thing if you start to stack up a couple of L's and we don't all agree as to why we're holding those L's. Like we're going out of those conversations and two people have one takeaway and two people have another takeaway, and then we go to practice and we're not on the same page. Being high-minded and executing the high mind together is how you fucking win in COD. If we just do 4 random shit and yeah, we get 50 kills a map, sure we'll win the map, but we're not doing it efficiently. And I wonder with this team, if that is potentially what's going on here. Again, don't want to speculate, but that's the only thing I can think of, right?
It's weird to speculate on that because
again,
they were playing such a good brand of COD at Major One.
It was.
You know what I mean?
It was.
I think it's more so this. It's that their overload was never good on the season, and they played way too slow on overload. The search really wasn't dominant. It was just they had some miracle search moments. A 1v3, 1v4.
That's fair.
They clutched up versus Optic on some miracle plays in the final in those searches. And now they deserved it. They were great plays, but I'm just saying it wasn't sustainable S&D in my mind, what was happening for them at the major. And now the rest of the league has just caught up a little bit in hardpoint. I think that's all it is, honestly. I mean, you look back, we just saw 15 and 5 in HP. I agree. They were playing better hardpoint than everybody. Teams have generally gotten better, as Ben pointed out from Major One. And then the other two game modes, it just wasn't sustainable. The overload wasn't good, and the S&D, we saw some miracle plays. So I think they're just in that same discussion as those teams like LA Thieves, like FaZe, like ReaaL, like G2, where it's like there's some things in their game that you can exploit. And Optic's the only team that I feel like has consistently improved.
Their S&D is fucking crazy at this stage.
I will say though, with Gentlemates though, the one thing, sorry Ben, the last thing I'll say, the one thing is that the hardpoint drop off has been considerable though. Like they were like 10-0 map ones, like they were locking down HPs, and now, I mean, I don't know if it's as small as the rest of the league has just caught up, but I definitely think that plays a factor.
Like, I mean, yeah, for sure. It's always.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. No, you go.
Okay. Like in the same way last year, like the meta through a year will change. I think the meta was kind of set. Like to me, they set the meta on how it was, like should be played. Like Major, how this game, like what was the most efficient way of playing the maps on this game, just with the sheer aspect of pace, was set by them. Like I agree 100%. Other team will catch up, but I think to the extent though, I feel like they're not doing the things they were doing that were conducive. Like even if the other team's caught up, they somehow. You don't forget how to play a game, but they're not executing on what they had set forward in Major One, which is not helping them kind of get out of situations, and is like that will hurt your slaying for like, again, if another team is playing a little more efficiently before and you're not doing the things that were causing your efficiency early on, then now gunfights become a lot more difficult. You're not getting the freebies or catch people off guard like you were before, and you just don't have the position to be conducive to getting the kills you need to win a game. And I don't want to stay here and talk about this all day because to me, again, we don't know what's going on. There's all we can really say to me is, and it's fair to assess, and obviously based on their recent games, something is going on. They need to figure it out and snap out of it because again, this roster is. I mean, they won Major One. It's stupid to say they're capable of winning tournaments because we know they are. But I think this is a team that can definitely be a contender this year. And again, which it sucks because they were like, I don't want to say they were the only team that was really capable of being Optic Major One because like maybe Optic wasn't as dominant as they are then. But like this is a team to me that should be able to take some maps and beat Optic sometimes at times. Like, but obviously with the way they're playing right now, we can obviously throw it out the window. But hopefully they can turn it around.
So
they have the mold to do it. So
we had some tweets.
I think before you go to that, I think this is a team that from a scene standpoint we want to see succeed just because of how big the fan base is. And again, we're going to, was it Major Fours in Paris?
Yeah, Major Fours in Paris. It's gonna have a huge crowd.
It would be so big for the scene for them to actually like not like if they win even better, but to do well then and have to be a team that's in contention because it's going to help the scene grow from an abroad standpoint, not an NA. And I think that's big.
The only problem for Gentlemates boys, their upcoming schedule next 4 matches. They play Optic this week. Unless Optic fucking decide
Let's not talk about it. Let's move on to the next match.
Boston Breach, which is a huge match for both teams. Boston is the team most in danger of not making the event right now.
Boston looked
with
terrible
Vancouver
in that series.
So I'm not sure about that. That's a grudge match. And then they play FaZe and Thieves. Like Gentlemates, this is a big 2 weeks. Because if they lose to Boston and they lose to Optic, now all of a sudden you can't lose to FaZe Because if FaZe also struggle and they have that head-to-head tiebreaker, and you guys are the difference between the 10th and 11th seed, Genomate's got to get it going, man. Or they may be the one team I've ever seen in COD history win an event and then not make it to the next event. That'd be nuts.
So Daunte had some posts.
You got to read the tweets out because people are going to be listening to this.
I got you. He said Envoy sucks Envoy's ass. He's the most accoladed. Is accoladed a word? I think it is.
He made it up.
Okay. And accomplished on the team. He said they think we compromise. We got a bad few games and count you out and happy on your downfall. I got something for they ass for real. So Daunte was turned up, bro. And you know, for Genomates, I mean, and all the pros, everybody says we don't hear the noise, see the noise. I hear people say it all the time. You all see the noise, you all hear the noise. So don't say you don't. And so he's reacted to it. And obviously it's a tough time in the Genomates camp. They've had some bad losses. C9, Vancouver, those are literally the two worst teams that we have in the league. So for them in their camp, I mean, they got to try to just remain calm and not acknowledge it. You could see it and use it as fire and bulletin board material, but acknowledging it, it's just going to make them come at you a little bit harder. And I love Daunte as a player, but he brings it on himself sometimes, bro. We've seen it over the years.
Daunte definitely began Kevin Durant Twitter fingers quite a bit, more so than any pro in the league.
Yeah.
And Dill also Envoy especially as well. The Dill Envoy Challengers take may go down in history as one of the worst takes in the history of the CDL.
Then he lost to a full challenger roster, bro.
I mean, it didn't age well last year. It hasn't aged well this year. Look, I think Genomates will figure it out. The thing I just want to highlight with their schedule is a big week for them. They need to go 1-1 this week, and then it's pressure relieved. They can't go 0-2 because then you play FaZe and Thieves next week. And if they have 3 wins right now. If they go 0-4, they will not make this major.
If they lose to Boston, it might be blow up time, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm with Ben on this. I think the Boston match specifically is a must.
You gotta win that.
You have to win that. Not only just from the making a major standpoint, but also just from a mental standpoint. Like you need to get out of this rut.
Yep.
Like I don't. If I'm in their camp right now, like obviously the Optic match is gonna be hard. Like Optic's playing at a level that's absolutely incredible right now. So let's just take that with a grain of salt. But the Boston match is one that you definitely feel like you should be winning. And they, like you guys said, right? If they lose that, then they're in danger of just not. I mean, nah. Actually, no.
Yeah,
you're totally right.
If they lose, not enough. They lost to Vancouver.
3 won't be enough. Yeah,
it's because they lost to Vancouver. Vancouver has the tiebreaker on them.
If Genomates didn't make it, that would be crazy. I already think it's insane that like it could be Genomates FaZe in the play-in.
Well,
it's almost like
FaZe play C9 though. They basically have a free dub.
Here's the thing.
Also play Genomates.
Here's the thing for Genomates, Ben. Here's the thing for them though, Ben. If they're the team that could come in and beat Optic, everything's forgiven. They're totally back. Like this match is so important. It's true. It's so true though.
That's fair.
Like
they need the things they need is they also need Boston. They need FaZe to lose to Carolina this week. If FaZe beat Carolina on Sunday, it also fucks them too. Like so. I think Genomates need to go 1-1 this week, or they're going to next Friday against that FaZe match, and that could be fucking problematic if they don't win that.
Yo, real quick, we didn't talk about them, but I honestly thought Carolina played Optic really well. Did you guys feel the same way? I thought that Carolina played good. I just feel like Hook was unstoppable, Dash was unstoppable. Like I don't think anybody would beat them here, but I thought Carolina, for what it's worth and how good Optic have been, was a pretty good match. I saw you just bring up
Carolina just another team like Vancouver. Like the way they play is. Like it's not conducive to them playing the most disciplined COD, and like when the slang wasn't there at land, and like that's how everybody calls them fucking onliners.
The vetoes.
Yeah, the vetoes also are a thing in the series. But I just want to tell you, like, still this like Carolina is dead last in holding and hardpoint.
I mean it's tough. And they're like top 3 rotations too, I think. So they're getting there early.
Yeah, they don't play a disciplined brand of COD, and like they have some really talented youngsters, but like that's just their MO, you know.
Yeah, I mean they're working through it. They're a young team, you know. I think that they actually took the criticism and what was that map kind of well. They've still been performing since that the whole fiasco where they outslayed by like 40 and everybody's going crazy, which is a good sign for them. And they remained in good spirits, so I think it's good for this roster. Like they're a growing team. But I thought that in this series they played them pretty well. I just don't think anybody could beat Optic right now. So
What's the record in Colossus Hardboard now?
Optic?
No,
Oh,
no,
0-9.
Carolina.
It was close though, Ray. They got close. Who popped
It's
takeover,
just
bro?
banging her head against the wall. Eventually, we'll push through this wall.
Guys, I will also say with Carolina. I will say with Carolina. This week they play G2 and FaZe. They could definitely go 0-2. They played Cloud out of Miami last week. You would think they'd be 2-9. You would think
They'll win.
But they're another
Carolina
team.
will win 1.
They're another team that still has some work to do to make this event. They could also be on the wrong side.
We just discussed
11 thing.
all these teams with them on the outside looking in, but they're like, I feel like they're still a competitive team. Like they're closer to that like area than maybe people give them credit for.
Hey, I'm all with just adding another team to the pack, bro. I will never say no to that right now.
Yeah, Lurks is a beast, and Craze had a good series too. Anyways, though, it is time to get to the call-ins, guys. I will drop a new link in the chat.
This should be good. We'll also probably pull up some Optic scrims once they get going, I assume.
Yeah, is that live yet?
I'm assuming they haven't started yet. They don't start till fucking 2:30. Everybody's fucking late to scrims these days. But
yeah, they're shooting bots, dude.
I'm tired of saying shit about people being late to scrims, but it is what it is. I don't know if it's better for 2:15, 2:30.
Just don't say anything about it. There's no point. There's no winning there at all.
There used to be a late tab on the sheet, and people used to fill it out, and everybody stopped after year one.
It's just always like I mean, for the most part now, I would argue that there's mostly a reason why some teams are late sometimes, and again, you don't really want to be late, period. But
as long as you get the scrim in, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I think
the only cascades to the next scrim because
that's like for us last year because we're on the West Coast, we want to have lunch, so we want to eat after our first set. So if our first set started late, like I made it a big thing for my team to always be on time the first sets to make sure that we are enough time. Because even our second set would typically start late, even if our first set started on time, because we want to take time to eat. Like
yeah, I mean, I was going outside after like 3 maps of scrims and ripping a cig, so. I think
Jesus,
I mean that was towards the tail end of the career.
Hitting the fucking dog for sure.
I'm like, dude, this guy Havoc didn't rotate, bro. I gotta go rip one dog, go outside.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I guess it's at least more on point than it was back then because people were never on time when we were competing.
Links in the chat, everyone. If you guys want to do call-ins,
you gotta create the room, man. Oh, you did create the room.
What do you mean? I created it. Yeah.
Okay, heard.
Join up, guys. Join up, everybody. We get some questions in.
I'm gonna take a quick pee break away for everybody, John. So.
All right, brother. So who's Optic scrimming today, chat? Who do they have? Also, shout out to LaRue for the raid. Friend of the program. I've been having a lot of fun on the show days, Ray, just like tweeting you.
I know. I see that. Did you see my tweet? I think I tweeted at you too. I can't remember for what, but I'm pretty sure I tweeted you. I think it was
Which I don't think I don't know if I think I did actually, maybe. But it was
I'm pretty sure I tweeted you a meme or a GIF or whatever.
yeah, I tweeted Hook was the best in the game, so that took over my mentions.
Yeah.
But he is. Oh, we got a lot of questions. I'm gonna get one in here right now. Let's get it going.
How we doing, boys?
What's up, dude?
Up,
is Ben back?
No.
No.
Yeah, I just got back.
Okay, my question is a little bit convoluted, so I'm just going to start with a premise. Okay.
Try to make it as simple as possible, then.
Yeah, make it simple, brother. Yeah,
all right. Okay, I'll try. Can we agree that Black Ops 7 is a good game and that everyone's enjoying it? It's probably like the best game in the CDL era. Is that a fair premise?
I mean, that's
like you're saying it's the
subjective,
best?
But I like
Top
it.
Two, yeah, you know,
it's a good game. It's definitely not the worst. Like it's a good game.
Okay, great. My question's about Modern Warfare 4. Okay.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. We've been seeing a lot of success in challengers, right? Bush has come in, the Huntsmen are back, so on and so forth. I'm worried that a team like Bush, for example, might see some issues with an Infinity Ward development cycle. I'm just scared that we might see a bit of regression there. That's part one. Part two, Modern Warfare 2022, we saw a lot of retirements. I'm worried about how many pros we might end up saying goodbye to in Modern Warfare 4. And part three, just general concerns you guys have about the upcoming Modern Warfare 4 season as a game, casually, competitively, all of that.
Well, we don't know anything about the game yet, so
Yeah, but we know Infinity Ward's MO. They are generally a developer that likes more of the milsim stuff, and that hasn't always really played with the general COD audience. I will say one variable that's now been introduced, especially into the business part about COD, is Microsoft is completed in the last couple of years their transaction with Activision as a merger. They've integrated the companies, and now the bottom line of COD and the performance of COD is going to be more. Microsoft's now very much involved with that, and I think there was a lot of reporting post this event or post this game coming out that Microsoft's trying to be open to more rethinking ideas about what to do with COD. So just don't be surprised if it doesn't fully play out the way that you think. But I gotta say though, I don't think you're gonna see it. I don't think you're gonna see like less challengers teams because of the game. That's not really usually how it works.
I guess that's not entirely my point. It's more like I'm scared that organizations like Bush that are newer to the challenger scene might grow incredibly frustrated with the lack of support that Infinity Ward brings as a developer, and it might cause issues in terms of longevity of them going, okay, well,
what issues?
What? No, I hear what you're saying, but what? Like, I'm confused. Like, what specifically are they going to do that's going to make a challengers org not want to invest? Yeah, maybe make a bad game, but that generally hasn't. The biggest variables on challengers investment are macroeconomic conditions, which have nothing to do with the fucking game title, and
So-
the location of events. In the structure of the challenger season.
I think it's not about what Infinity Ward's going to do. I think it's about what they're not going to do. I think it's going to be their lack of support that's really going to make some challengers teams rethink their longevity in the scene as a whole, because we're not going to get another Treyarch game for a while, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, but
everyone's happy with Black Ops 7 now, and that's great. But like, Treyarch cares. And Infinity Ward, they've proven time and time again that they don't care. And
listen,
hopefully I'm wrong.
I'm gonna stop you there. The biggest factor the challengers org is wanting to get in is whether or not they can play against pro teams, and that's affected by ESL FAZE group in the CDL and not fucking necessarily Infinity Ward. So yes, and next season, if there's more pro am content, you're gonna see more challengers orgs. So they cut pro am content or they have less elite cycles. And yeah, maybe orgs like Bush will want to not invest, but I don't think the developer of the game, because there was a time and a place where they did provide prize pool and some direct funding to the way that the competitive scene worked. It's changed in recent years, and I don't think that's as much of a variable as you think it is.
My question about pros retiring might answer my own question about how challengers is going to do, because if a lot of pros retire, then challengers teams are going to be bringing all types of new players in, sending them into the CDL, stuff like that. So is that a factor as well, you think?
What pros? I don't even remember, dude. I've so many years of COD.
I mean,
so you're saying in 2022,
Octane. Didn't JCap retire in Modern Warfare 2022? It was a long list of people.
Well, Cap retired after the OGLA situation.
I think I just view it different. I feel like a lot of those guys were kind of over it. I think Zin and Sam were like two where you're like, oh, why'd they retire?
But like you get what I'm saying though. Like pros in general have a distaste for Infinity Ward CODs at this point. It wouldn't surprise me.
But hold on, there's three pros you just named.
What's screaming? I think too.
What are they having? I'm gonna just. What do they have in common right now? Said Zin and Sam. What do they have in common right now?
Well, I mean, they're doing great in the watch party, right? They obviously made the right decision retiring because they're all doing great.
They had an opportunity to stop playing because there was already a good opportunity on the other side of it that was closer to a certainty than some of these other players, which is like you don't know what's on the other side. So yeah, there could be more generational turnover, right? There are a lot of promising young players now in the league, and also promising international players now getting an NA chance, and they may shuffle out some of these spots. But I don't think you're going to see another like mass generational exodus.
Yeah, but like Ben, to his point, he's just basically saying, regardless of his reasoning, that he's worried about the game being good or not as it's IW. And yeah, I think a lot of people are worried about that. That's typically how it goes.
We gotta wait and see.
But we just gotta wait and see.
And I'm hoping that the community continues to just enjoy Black Ops 7 to its maximum potential, because we really do have a good COD in our hands, and I just think we need to enjoy it while we can. Because next year, we don't know what's going to happen, especially even casually skilled.
I'll say this: it sounds like you need to enjoy it, Frankie. Sounds like you need to kick back and
I am enjoying it. I'm dropping nukes, I'm having fun.
I'm just warning you. Yeah, I agree with you. The Infinity Ward doesn't always make the best CODs, but you also got to think Microsoft is now factoring more into the equation. How are they going to affect the governance of studios' decisions? We just don't know how it's going to play out. Microsoft game leadership just fucking changed a few months ago. And we all know that we're in the AI bubble, and that's probably a priority to Microsoft as a general company. So I
Microsoft
think
being involved makes me worry even more, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to worry or not because they haven't really said anything yet. So about that.
But Frankie, thank you for the question, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate
No problem, man. Y'all have a good day.
Yep, you too.
You too. I think a key thing is probably their next earnings call, which is going to be around when they announce Call of Duty and stuff. What Microsoft says about Call of Duty on that call, and then it will be really interesting to me.
He's totally
general
valid
games
to have
business.
like questions about the next game, like his IW game. His
Yeah, 'cause
reasoning,
IW always-
maybe not, but
IW always feels strongly about their design decision. They don't really. Treyarch, at least this cycle, was very open and generally is open to community feedback. IW historically has told the community and the pros to shove it sometimes. But like, if they make a Milsim game that nobody wants to play, and then people give them feedback on changes and they don't listen, yeah, I'd be worried. But with regards to challengers, there's just so many more other variables that are at play other than the fucking game being.
But
good.
listen, you know what? Optimistic. The game's gonna be great. All right, so we got Joe Namas in here. What up, man? What's your question?
Hello. Thanks for bringing me in, guys. I just had a question of like, kind of, we've seen, sorry, we've seen some people like, Merc, Ghosty, like they come up from challengers. Like, I'm starting to think that you need to maybe pick the team that you join like way more carefully, because like you see some of these rookies like Abe, Lunars, they come into chalk systems and they get just like torpedoed either back to challengers or like they just end up in a cycle on terrible teams. And like I feel like it's I don't think Merc becomes Merc if he's not on Optic.
Do you feel like Merc didn't become Merc when he was on Toronto in his first event?
Yeah, so like, joining that Toronto system was probably like the best thing. And I mean, even people were talking about it at the time. Like that's one of the best situations you could have gone into.
It was, yeah.
Abe, he went to Toronto. He performed super great. Or well, not super great, but like way better than he did when he was on Surge. So like I feel like I know it's always like, if you grinding for this, like you take the first offer you get, but I feel like you need to be a little bit more specific about
there's limited
which
spots
offer
though.
you take, like,
there's limited spots, It's always hard, right?
But I've been arguing this take a couple of times on stream this year. I think players need to consider the options in front of them and just not auto take that first opportunity, because a number of players, I'll give an example. I had a long conversation on stream a few years ago with Joe DeCease, and Joe basically told me I spent 7-8 months on LAG and learned fucking zero, and I didn't actually get better until I got into my next team. Players need to just be mindful of the situation they're going into if it's going to prevent them from progressing upwards. Back in the day, you could change your team every fucking month and a half. So if you went on a chalk team, it's all good. I go to the event and fry, and I can finesse them in a better situation. If you're a good player and you get locked into a 2-year fucking deal on a shit org, you might be screwed for 18 months.
He might have thought he learned nothing, but I'm sure he learned a lot.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Talked to Joey. He obviously learned stuff. It didn't learn zero.
I mean,
he didn't learn. He didn't really get to the next level until he was on Dave's and got benched on Dave's.
I think this is where I'll give a shout out to staffing and the people that are helping mold these players and develop these players. Like a lot of it can come from teammates and experienced teammates, right? Like your players on your team will have an impact on your growth as well. But the people that are behind you, supporting you and giving you information, feeding you ideologies, mentalities, how to take care of yourself in and out of the game, like all these things like kind of play into a role in a player's development and how good they can become, how fast they can become, and ultimately reaching their ceiling. So I think that's something that players, from my understanding, don't necessarily care for all that much, at least from what I'm seeing, based on some of the decisions some of these guys are making sometimes. But it's just like Ann said, there's only a limited amount of spots in the league. You're gonna take what you can get, and like, and on the Abe front, for example, like the Vancouver Surge situation, like they were kind of in charge of picking their roster up. Like I don't know exactly what happened with the Legend thing, if that was a decision they made as a team, or if that's the org that decided they wanted to do that. But ultimately, like I know for the other three, like they live together, don't they? Or they used to. I'm pretty sure Abe, GWINN, and
I'm not sure.
From my understanding about Vancouver, the way it went down is the players all knew what they were getting into, and they basically were auditioning 2-year replacements, Ray, and they were pitching them 2 different visions, and they went with the Legend vision. But again, the players all had to agree to fuck in that situation. They knew what they were getting into.
Right.
So they're not blameless in what went down.
So I think I think you can, like what you just said about the players making decisions to go in, Joe. Like the C9 situation is a pure example of like players not rushing to just spots. Like it was actually like put out socially that like was it 3 or 4 guys refused to join C9
Yeah.
Correct.
based on what they were offering. So like, granted, the decision why they didn't join maybe is because of the financial aspects of what they were being offered, but at the same time they were offered league spots and they said no because they felt the situation wasn't good for them. So I don't think it's like it's not something that everyone's doing just jump into the first spots, and I think there is some thought process going to it. How much and who really depends on their individual situations and how bad they feel like they need a spot or not.
For sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, that makes sense. And I wasn't watching around this time. I'm like kind of an old head. I actually used to watch y'all on Envy. I used to
Hell
hate
yeah,
every time
dude.
Aches beat you. I was fighting Aches every time. But like Kismet, I remember like they said he joined like Paris or something that got chalked and then ended up on NYSL. And like, you know, I don't know what that Paris stint is. I haven't gone back and looked at it. I just remember I started watching again in Modern Warfare 2022, which was a terrible year to start again. But you know,
Yeah, I mean,
like seeing how he did that year, I was like, what they do to him on Paris, you know?
yeah, there's some examples over the time, but I mean, everybody's situation's different, right? If you have the means to be able to deny a league offer and wait, and you're that good and you're banking on yourself, I mean, that's a risk, right? So, but generally, those spots on the really good teams just aren't always available, you know. So you can bank on something and it just not happen. But yeah, I hear your question. Thank you for it. Let's get the next
Good question.
J Dog. Yeah, we've answered that question a lot, but it's just like there's no like clear answer. It's like it's all depends on the situation.
Hello?
J Dog, what up, man?
Yo, what's good, man? Happy to see the podcast is back.
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay, despite me going back to the game part a little bit, but not really, because I want all three of your perspectives on it. I think Ben said it last year that was it LAT did not enjoy playing the game. I could be wrong. Or FAZE didn't enjoy playing the game.
I mean, I didn't say it about LAT. I mean, the point I made last year is like players. It's always a weird yellow flag when players come out and they talk shit about the game, because it gets in the way of them putting like the extra effort in. If you love a game and you're willing to sit there and watch VOD and play challenges and stuff like that, but if you hate the game and that's making you just get on and get off when only scrims are there, like, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was
See
going
where
to
it goes
ask.
south.
Because like, okay, you're getting paid a lot of money to play this game, and then like you put in zero effort. Then like you see like Rambo, I know I want to hear your perspective too because you've been a coach of it. Like when you see like your players at night or like after hours or before hours just hopping on like CS or Apex Legends, is that not like a red flag as like a team when you see like two of your teammates not even playing the game while you're playing Chalice? So I feel like that would kind of like check me. It's like we're getting fucking slammed by Optic and scrims, and now you're.
I can't wait to hear Ray's
Now
reply
you're
to this because we lose a scrim and he would be on League of Legends that night. So let me hear this answer.
Yeah, I think so. So I definitely I think what you're saying kind of has like different parts of it. Like there is a very much a part of it is a job. It is not always going to be enjoyable. Finding the enjoyment in practice and the effort, like you need to put in the amount of work that you feel is necessary. And honestly, it should be a lot, but that you feel as a person and as a team is necessary to be as competitive as you can be, right? There comes a point where you also need to have a life outside of competing and playing to where your brain is kind of not revolving around the same kind of, I guess, washing machine about the things you're doing. Like you still need to have your mental health and how you go about your life also has an impact on your performance. Finding that balance is really kind of like on an individual person and as a team, what you feel like is right or not. Like there's a success to that itself in its own way. As far as like playing other games and stuff, like I've seen so many different variants of individuals having the ability to do those things, and it's the amount someone needs to do to put in to be as successful as another person. Obviously, like the more you put in, the better it can be. But there comes a point where certain guys it's annoying to say, but I almost like don't need the same amount as another person. Like
Yeah.
some guys are very practice oriented and need that to succeed, and some guys, I hate to say this, but like kind of just have it in a way. Like they still need to put an effort and work, but it can be not as much as someone else needs to succeed at, or compete at the same level.
It's accountability, Ray.
I think the other part of it to me is the enjoyment of things. Like that is like it's a weird conversation. I'll bring up two different points to this. One or time frames where I was involved as a coach in this. The first year I coached with Empire, Crim 6, and they'll be the first to tell you. Crim 6 was playing a lot of Warzone in the middle of the season. I think someone else was. I can't remember who it was, but there are we didn't really enjoy the game all that much, like from the player standpoint, which the game that year was arguably not that fun to play. I can get that. But we came to a realization as a team that we needed to like almost like fake love what we were doing so that we found a way forward to being the best we can be. Like it got to a point where we felt as a team, as a group, we had conversations about this to where we felt like we needed to put more effort in to the effort we were putting wasn't enough to be the best we can be. And we're still like, when I'm saying that, it may sound like we were never scrimming or never practicing, never play outside scrim. That's not the case. It just wasn't enough of what we needed to be competitive as we can be. So from that point on, we like started lying to ourselves, saying this game's great, this game's awesome. Like obviously in a joking matter, but we went into games every day, just like finding a way for us to get past that mental hurdle to really put in the effort for it that was needed to succeed. And we won champs after that. Like I'm not saying that's a product of that, but that definitely didn't hurt us.
Yeah.
So there's like so many ways you can go about and think of this. Like it's a very nuanced kind of topic.
Of course.
It's different for a lot of people and for a lot of teams. Like I still am at the very core. I would say the argument more often than not that's going to take over is that if someone does something more than you do, then theoretically they're going to have a better chance to succeed. Whether it's scrims or playing outside, like I still think, like I brought it earlier in the show, like Shotzi and Ant play a lot of the game outside of scrims.
I mean,
Whether
Shotzi
it's
and
like
Tyler,
ranked
right?
play. Yeah, like obviously they're trying to entertain your streams in a way, but that's a way of getting you to do the things you need to do to be competitive and successful. Whatever that is, I think I'm all for it from a player standpoint. Like I think these guys, if those guys are the best team and they're doing it as much as they're doing, and you're not even doing it as much as they're doing it, immediately I feel like you're putting yourself a little bit behind.
Yeah, that's
So
what
you need to
that's what
find
I would
ways.
say.
You need to find ways as players and as teams to do whatever it needs to do for you to find some level of enjoyment in it and understand that this is actually good for you and your career.
You need to have self accountability to be able to understand when you need to put in the extras to catch up if you're falling behind. You need to have culture accountability so other people around you can tell you when you're not doing it if you don't realize it. And sometimes teams like one or both.
Yeah, I mean, in general, you just need to be grinding the game, bro. I mean, I was always on the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, I do understand there needs to be a life balance, this and that. But if your team's not winning, bro, you should be trying whatever it is that makes your team more effective. If that's watching more VOD or if that's you getting in game and playing eights, you should be playing the game more. Unless you're literally the number one team running shit and your system is just on point like Optic. They just can continue to do what they're doing. But if not, you should be putting in the extra mile. That's always how I thought of it. And whenever I was able to find teammates that all did that, we had success. But to Ray's point, it's different for everybody. Like everybody's not the same. But if you have two teammates that need that, then you guys need to be on with your teammates. Like you just gotta do. I always thought I gotta do whatever it is. One, to make myself as good as I can be, but also to help my teammates. And if that's what they need, then I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? So
do you guys bring it up in like a conversation? If just start the conversation when you guys realize in practice that player may not be like at the same level of intensity as everyone else.
If I'm playing the game and grinding and I'm frying and my teammate's not and he's not grinding, we got an issue. That's how I always looked at it.
That's when it starts with you. Is when it's like, okay, like we gotta lock the fuck in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna tell him, be like, yo, I've been playing eights every night and I'm playing well. Like, I'm hopping these, bro. Like, what do you need? You know what I mean? So that's
is that the conversation they have with Kenny?
I doubt it with that, bro. We can't speculate. We can't speculate with teams. But you're asking our opinion and how we approached it. Ray told you as a coach how he approached it. As a player, that's how I approached it. Every camp's going to be different, and every player is going to be different.
Of course.
These are conversations we had as a team last year. Like when we were finding success, but we had like stints where certain players had a rough go individually, and like as a coach, I like sat down just to like have a conversation with them, because like obviously they had really high performances, and then they kind of like their performance weren't as good, and it's like you have conversations, sit down with them, like you ask them questions, you figure out like with them, like you almost help them realize on their own what really are the issues, like, and there's never really like just one answer. Like playing the game more isn't always an answer.
Yeah,
Like
it's not always an answer.
it could be other things, like.
But there's also
Yeah.
the aspect of it too. I look at it almost as if like, dude, the season is condensed now. These guys are playing way less matches, so like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah, way
really
less
no
bandwidth.
excuse to not be playing and grinding the game. Now, the argument of like, oh, they're getting off and playing another game, you can't really use that at all. Like, people can have hobbies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
do what you got to do on your free time. Like that's your own
Exactly.
time. Like,
Yeah.
it's like if I want to play League of Legends in my free time, man, leave me the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, bro. Like scrims start at 2. If I wake up at 10, I played 3 hours of whatever before my warm up.
Yeah.
Sure. Like you
Right.
got it. You can have a hobby. Like it's good for your mental
Yeah.
health. We've seen so many players have issues with that, and that's because of life balance. I experienced it. We all did that competed, bro. It's
Yeah,
tough.
we all did. Everyone goes through
Everyone
these moments.
did,
It's
bro.
not easy.
And
Especially for people that have been around for a while. Like, bro, like
Mhm.
it's you go through this motion nonstop, and it is not. It is. We are playing video games for a living. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, what we do is extremely fun in its own way. But when you do it for a while, like it becomes more about the competition than the games themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're playing the game just to play the game, it doesn't feel as invigorating as it once was.
Gotta find a way to make it fun, bro. Yeah, towards the end, and I know not everybody's like this, but I'm just like straight up honest. I hated scrimming the last like 2 years of my career because I just had it. You just have so many different teammates, so many different approaches to it, and like sometimes you care more than your teammate. It just can be so frustrating. But now I think the reward is these guys are making so much more, at least the high end players, that, and there's less matches
Yeah.
they have to play. That should be motivation enough. But thank you for the question, bro.
Thank you.
Have a good night, man.
It's cool. You know, sometimes the people who watch the fans don't understand that it actually is incredibly stressful to be a pro
Yeah.
player. And practice isn't, I know you guys in chat and stuff, you guys get on the game and it's super fun. For a team that's not playing well and like losing scrims and can't figure out an issue, it's not that fun, bro, sometimes. Like,
The mental load it takes on you is very
Yeah.
like under talked, not as seen from the outside. And like it's as players, you don't really want it to show because you.
no.
I mean, it's not a good look for you and your teammates if you show that. So, but it's not easy.
Yeah. Especially like you be trying to work on something and you're like, damn, bro, I'm just not getting better. It's like, fuck, what is going on? What do I do? And sometimes you get in your head, you're like, damn, I'm playing too much now, or I'm questioning myself. So there's a lot that plays into it. But let's get the next one in here. Designer, what up?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Doing good.
So, I was calling in a couple of days ago to get Ben on the call, and I wanted to go into the part where they were talking about the deployment area and stuff like that. But I also wanted to roast somebody in this particular panel. Not roast them, but put them on the hot seat, so to speak. On the playing on the different areas aspect of it is like Big Timer said. I don't know if you saw the clip where he's
Yeah.
talking about
Electrician and
different
nine and yeah.
Yeah.
wouldn't like when people start talking about that, they should just put that clip on to make people understand, to like not just keep it recycling over and over and over again. And the second thing to that same point is like, wasn't Celium fucking banned from scrims? Like
No, he got banned from
he's-
he got banned from AIDS for like 2 weeks
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, because
I
of
mean,
his skill, right?
Because
they
of
thought
what?
he was cheating.
they thought he
No.
was cheating, but like
It wasn't actually
like,
because he
the
was
re-
cheating. No. I was there. I was part of this. It's just because the guy's internet was insane and we weren't playing against him on LAN. So I was like, why is this guy in our eights?
yeah. The funny thing that IW is, I think if all the like Simp and Cell would have competed, they would have probably been on fucking top teams that year. But
Yeah.
age gap, whatever.
Oh,
I no one's having this plumber conversation. It's just fucking Pat, bro. It's literally just Pat.
I get it. So now this is the interesting part, because this is going to be about, like, I'm not sure if you guys are okay with me putting two platforms together. If I don't want to name another Brown podcast if you guys are not okay with it.
What's your question, bro? Just
Well,
ask the
what's the
question.
question?
What's the question?
The thing
Get to
was
the point.
about X, right?
Okay, what about X?
What about that?
I enjoy all podcasts, right? I work 2 hours and I like to listen to like everybody's perspectives and everything. Now my question to Ben was, why are you guys more lenient, more afraid? Does Egg have like a black? What do you call it? A black
No,
mirror?
no, it's Pat. No, Pat. Listen, I understand the question. No, Pat doesn't have a blackmail or anything. Pat is just listen. Pat is also playing a little bit of a character sometimes. Like you just gotta know he's just kind of leaning into it. I do think that Pat. I think respectfully, a lot of Pat's CDL opinions are. I'll tell you what it is like, he was.
It was worth it.
Kind of on the other side of his career. Going into Black Ops 4, he got a huge contract through the Conkeys in that first year, and then got forced out because that team was fucking dog shit. He inexplicably spent the first month of the year not fucking scrimming, which is an insane decision out of him. He still doesn't rationalize on a call. And like he's hated the CDL since. And yeah, some of his points are correct, but the way the scene is is because of CDL, he's not entirely wrong. But I think he's too biased and too colored to have like a nuanced take on some of these issues.
I want to close it out with this though. I don't want to keep it I don't like people wasting time, but it's like
Just make it quick.
the thing for me is this. You guys say, some people say like Tom will go and say like, well, Pat is Pat. Pat is always going to be Pat. But in the same token, you had him on the show, Dexterdo, a couple years ago, and it coincided with the flank, and he will be like professionally, he would say shit about Optic.
Designer, thank you for the question. Pat's not on this show. He's been the same guy forever. He's also a friend of the program. If you have questions for Pat, if you tweet him, I think he'll answer you, bro. But I appreciate your support of the show. There's no point talking about the Deserto show and the flank and what Pat says on there, because he does play character, as Ben said. So thank you, and we'll move on. Let's get Tony in here. I couldn't take it anymore. Couldn't take it anymore. Tony, what up, dude?
What's good? I'm sorry, I've just been crying the past 20 minutes.
No, the blackmail was crazy.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, my question. Sorry, I need to lock in. My question is, if since ReaaL is like what was the word?
He's a free agent now.
Free agent,
unrestricted. It seems like
unrestricted. There you go. Unrestricted. Yeah. What team would he be best fit for him?
I think we talked about this.
I mean,
there's a couple, bro.
I mean, if FAZE and Gentlemen make a change, that's a pretty good team. If he could be convinced to go to Carolina or Boston, he can make them better. Like there are quite a few options out there. If ReaaL can get back to his game from last year, right? He's a good roam. He's a roam slayer. He's a plus kill in S&D a lot. Like he can make plays. He'd be a decent fit for those teams. What do you think, Rai?
Who do you replace on Carolina?
That's hard because you're basically dropping one of the rucks, basically.
Yeah, you can't change that team.
I was gonna say you don't. Yeah, you don't. I don't think you
I was just you don't think if you put them on a team for say one of the subs, you don't think they get better? You think it's a side move?
No, I don't think they get better. Lurks is a beast. Craze is playing better too.
Yeah, if they do, it's really not enough to like warrant a change. Like you're gonna like reset everything. Like I mean, maybe a very little. Maybe he has a little more experience. But in terms of how these guys are playing now, I think they're pretty solid in terms of sub duo.
It's probably Boston, the obvious instant improvement.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say, yeah. I mean, like like his question was more towards like what would be best for him. Like it's obviously always going to be the best team possible. So like to Ben's point, if you probably are better off waiting to see what happens after Major 2 if one of the better teams has to make a change or wants to make a change, that's probably his best bet. But in terms of like fit right now of teams that actively, in my opinion, should be looking to make a change, then yeah, Boston's probably the place that he would end up on that can benefit from him, and he can probably benefit from as well, just being back in the league, obviously.
Yeah, and then like if we give you another one, I guess the other one would probably be FaZe. Like I actually probably order it that way. I'd probably go Boston would be like for them, they'd have the most improvement. And then like a tentative improvement on FaZe if obviously they keep trending in this direction.
What about LAT?
For who? Abizi or Hydra?
Choose whatever.
Nah, that doesn't make them better.
Okay.
I don't think it makes it
That's
better.
that's a
I mean, because you
I
look
don't
at FaZe, and at least you could say like 04's not finding kills. Maybe ReaaL will come, and it's a maybe. Maybe ReaaL will come in and find more kills, right? Where we've kind of talked about it, it seems like more of a system thing for FaZe, but there is that potential that if they get 5-10% more production out of that role, that they'll be way better. So I think those two teams would probably be the suitors, but who knows, man? I'm not sure. I mean, we can hypothesize all day, but we don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for
I
the
got another question. It's for Ben. I got another question for Ben. You're missing flight meetings, bro?
Because this podcast took forever because fucking Ant was rage baiting. It's like a 2-hour show. We're pushing 3 hours now.
All right, we're about to be done. We're ripping through these. All
right, let's go.
Appreciate you.
All right, we got 3 more questions. We'll get them in quick though. I'm inviting them in here. Ripple or Rawple? How do you pronounce your name?
Be quick with your question, by the way. Let's just ask a question.
We got to rip through these long show.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
What's up?
All right. If calamity happens for Gentlemates, they go like 0-4 or 1-3 like these next 2 weeks, and they like get bounced in play-ins or just don't make the major. Do you think they drop or stick? And if they drop someone and pick up, who are they picking up?
Oh,
guys,
man.
here's a problem with this question, which is
if I don't know.
You have to remember it's going to happen after Major 2, and there's going to be an open event. There's going to be an entire CDL event. We don't know who's going to pop off at that event. There are a lot of really promising youngsters and challengers right now. There's also players like a Standy or Ojohn who can go to that event and fry and really like jump up their stock. It's just kind of hard. We can name 10 players, but a lot of it's going to depend on who plays good at that event.
I'll be honest, I can't answer that because that's way too many ifs. If you ask me this question after this next weekend, I might have more for you. But they got 2 matches this weekend. I think we got to see. They're in the midst of a collapse currently. Have they fully collapsed? They have not yet. So obviously, anything's on the table. If you just lose every match, then anything's on the table, right? So I really can't answer that right now.
It's kind of the same way we were talking about the gentleman situation earlier. Like, it's hard to tell from the outside what's really going on. So I think that's depicting when, if, what change would be necessary is really like too early to tell / impossible for us to really judge.
And it's like how they lose too, right? Like if they, I don't know.
The team just won a major, bro. Like it'd be pretty. Like I don't remember ever a team winning a major and making a roster change pretty fast after that. Like it's
like if Envoy's just 0.5 and they get dead last, then maybe, right? Like, but I don't know.
The only team that had a big fall off after winning an event that I can remember was LAG Vanguard, but that was just such a weird.
That was a different situation. Yeah,
that was a weird situation.
That was.
As far as I'm on that team, because Pierce is getting stomach surgery, like they, you know what I'm saying, like it's an odd one.
Right. Thanks for the question, brother.
Thank you.
It's so hard. I know we might sound rude when we reply to questions like that sometimes, chat, but it's just really hard to answer that. Like,
there are years
because I can make this up with anything. It's like, what if Optic
We're not
just
here to spew bullshit. We're not here to spew bullshit.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna answer honestly based on what our takes are, and if there's no take to have, then there's no point in speculating or saying bullshit.
There are years where there's been some obvious, like this is the next person up after this event they're getting picked up type situation. Challengers has got so many good players right now that like it's just hard to know who from the prospects are going to surface out. And then you got like a QK or a Nox who are definitely talented players, but teams are concerned about communication issues, and that's what's holding those players back from being in the league right now.
Yeah.
Just got to work on their English.
What up, H-Griv? This is the final question.
Yo.
Hope it's a good one. What's up? What's your question?
What's up, man? Not in here to complain about the schedule this week, Ant. And what's up, Ben? I just okay. So I got a question for you. Ray and Nameless, of course, you guys have been around for a long time, so it might be better suited to you. But Ben knows a lot. Why? My question is why do teams all generally, and I guess this is hard point too. I'll be more specific. S&D is more variant, but why do teams all generally try to play the same? And I'll give a bit of context to that. Of course, Optic is the best right now. They fly, they play at pace with efficiency. So they're showing that's probably the best way to play the game, of course. Mm-hmm. But when you look at some of these other teams like Surge, Carolina, even Boston, if they were to make a purge move, which I think is needed, they're not going to be able to, I think, ever match the efficiency or pace that a team like Optic does. Why not try to play the game in a completely different way? Now, that might not even be a question.
Hey, Ray, you take this one.
Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
No, but why not? Why can't they play the game in a similar way to Optics do?
I mean, you can, but and they try to. I think they do try to, but you can't match.
Can you tell me for sure they've actively tried to play the game at a similar pace that they have?
I mean, I guess not. You can't confirm it, but all we ever hear is teams say, "Oh, we're watching VOD on this team, and we try to do what this team does," and it's quite clear they all try to match what the best is doing.
I would just being on the inside of things and seeing how certain teams go about their business, I would argue that that's not the case, and I would argue a lot of these teams try and find success in their own ways. Like what you're saying to me is not necessarily true, and what you're arguing is actually the case where teams find a way they feel like they're going to find success and they stick to that regardless of knowing what the team that's finding the most success is right now and trying to emulate that.
And okay, so if that's the case, then you're saying half the coaching staffs and teams are
it's not
brain
necessarily
dead.
that. It's not necessarily that. I think it's more like the adaptability, like what you're saying. Like some people and players may not feel like they can play to the pace that certain teams are playing, and not only that, more so, I think it's just the fact that they found success in their careers playing a certain way, and they try and play to that, regardless of what the game demands or whatever is the most successful.
That's definitely true.
Also, there is variance to how people play the game. You watch teams, they have different rules on hills and shit, like in the way that they approach it. Like it's not like everybody's playing the same exact way, if that's kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah, but I think, sorry, real quick, I'm just saying also just from like the general fact of like, okay, we try to break the hills. Like, okay, we know not everyone certain hills we can't all just flood front. We do different things, but like it's just always the same general rules, even that I feel like teams follow. And I get there's certain things in hardpoint that must be done, but I just think there's got to be other ways you could improvise. Rotate early at 40 seconds with 4 guys one time when you're only down 20, and literally fully set up for like we don't ever see any.
Well, that would be a horrible play.
Now that you're saying it. Well, I mean, but teams rotate and then push out. So, like, you might as well just go and sit down and lay your controller down. I mean,
no.
Ray's answer, it makes sense what you're saying, Ray. I see that point now, the way you're explaining it. But then that is almost an even worse answer, because that means they're so stuck and complacent in their own ways that they're literally just okay with losing all the time.
Well, it's a race
just as bad.
It's always a race to find the optimal way to play the game. Everybody's somewhat stealing from everybody. But like the way, let me just explain to you how the way like practice and like how this stuff works, right? Say we're watching Optic play Den right now. We're struggling on P4. We understand like the gist of how every team generally tries to break it, but we're gonna like come up with our way that works best for us in practice, right? Like it might look the same to you on the mini map, but it could be as different as like, all right, Ant's just going front and holding small room door, and you know, we slide out through outer a specific way, right? And so like there's like small details on the map that you're not seeing that teams that are very detailed do, and some don't. And that's just like attention to detail, practice, and like a level of professionalism that some of these teams have over the bottom teams in the league. So I think what you're saying happens, you just don't see it.
Can I add to this as well? Like,
yeah, that makes sense. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
If we're being completely honest, like in Major One, since the start of the game, which teams do you feel like have actually, like, if we're talking about hardpoint specifically, have played the mode in efficient way that seems to be like the most conducive to winning? There's only 2 teams that come to mind.
Correct.
Yeah, is that a question or is that reciprocal?
It's a question that leads to another. That your answer will lead to more the idea of it. So like, let's say.
Yeah. So it was Mates and then Optic, of course.
Right. So of course that's an obvious answer to that question. So if there are only 2 of the 12 teams in a league are playing the game efficiently, when you're practicing against every other team in a league and you're finding success in what you're doing, it's hard to gauge whether you're doing right or wrong based on like what you think is going to work or not work against the teams that are actually good. Like you can't just base your practice off solely 1 or 2 scrims a week when you play those teams that are actually playing the best. I mean, to a certain extent you can and you should, but that's not what I think teams are doing. And it's hard for you as human and as people to not gauge the success you're getting in your scrims, regardless of who you're playing against. Like if you find success doing
That's also very true.
holding it a certain way, you're going to be like, well, this works. Like you can say this works for us, or just this works, period. Let's keep doing this and finding ways to improve on what we're doing now. So there's so many nuances to what you're saying. I do like the point, and I think it's a great question. But there's so many levels to it. And in the same way as well, like, and this as the year goes on, like the efficiency, like when the game first comes out, teams try to find the most efficient way to play it. That's kind of like the basis of it. Like whether it's to play fast, slow, spread out, play together, whatever it is, like they try and find that. Certain teams are quicker to find that than other teams. Certain teams have a hard time adjusting to that because it's just not the way their roster is built or the players on the team actually think how the best way is to play Call of Duty in the game itself. And then past that, once a meta is found, by meta I mean like a way of, like, let's just say like this is the baseline for being efficient, teams try and find ways to counter that. Like there's a thought beyond that mentality where, okay, well, if we're expecting a team to do this, what is the best way to play against that specific way?
Yeah.
Which is then when you see kind of certain play styles and play. Like at the core, when a team has kills, like there's like, if let's say we said every team should realistically agree that if there are 4 kills, let's say we get 4 down on the team, then we're in this position. These are the positions we should try and hold in this situation. Like that should be more or less the same across the entire league. But as the year goes on, to get those kills and to get into that position, it kind of starts changing because of how teams see
Everybody has
certain
their
ways.
own little
certain teams
approach.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To get to those
it's kind of
spots.
different. So, but
For sure, I
ultimately,
get it.
Oh yeah,
ultimately,
bro.
the one thing, and this is my like maybe this is a personal opinion, and right or wrong, everyone can agree or disagree. But I do think there is theoretically one best optimal way to play a game. Like there's not 20 different ways to do things because of the games we're playing and how fast things are, especially nowadays. Like it's not because I have XY player that I shouldn't be playing as fast as XY team is playing. It's these teams, the way the game is being conducive to playing this year requires fast pace and aggressiveness to get information and people set up properly and not be at the risk of the other team being proactive and you being reactive. Like that is, in my opinion, the best way to be successful. And if a team isn't doing that, not saying they can't find success, but I don't think they'll find it consistently, and I think they'll have a hard time beating the teams that are doing it well.
Thank
For
you,
sure.
Griff.
Okay,
Appreciate
I mean,
it.
I love that. Yeah, resident man of wisdom, Ray. Always appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate the question, brother.
My boy Greenside said you activated Ray's curse technique, domain expansion, ball knowledge. So, all right, that's a great episode. There is one thing I'd like to address in chat. Designer came back with the fire. He said, "Great job, guys. Talking about Luca's situation the 1,000th time and repeating the same discussion about the league over and over. Yet I get cut off asking why Aches isn't held to the same standard as other co-hosts. That question reflects what a lot of community is thinking. I just want to know why everybody seems afraid to challenge his takes, whether they're trolling or not." Well, listen, first of all, that's just not the case. Second of all, he just says shit sometimes where it's like it doesn't even entice a reply sometimes. Like he's just looking for entertainment, and it's great. It's fun. I think a lot of us like Aches. He's just trying to get the community going. It sounds like he's doing a good job.
Sometimes he's got a lot. Well, go ahead, Ray.
I love Pat on the show. I think he's entertaining as hell. Granted, like some of it's like okay, buddy, but it's good. I think there's a good balance to have there. You want the personality he's bringing to it. To me, is a good addition to the show. It makes it more entertaining and much more fun to watch.
Also, Designer, it's all good, dude. You're all good, brother.
Yeah, I mean, bro, on the show we like Pat. We have some great conversations with Pat sometimes. Like I really love. He's obviously a multi-world champion. He knows what the fuck he's talking about sometimes. But sometimes he'd be going through the motions, and we just sit there and just let him argue himself out, and then we just move on. You know.
He's also been this way forever. It's not an act.
He's never going to concede a point. He's never going to concede a point ever. He has to win. He has to win every argument, bro. He can't hold
Imagine competing. Imagine playing on his teams. Holy moly!
You know what? The Flink needs to do a call-in episode because Designer and Pat need to have a face-to-face.
We've talked about it. The problem is that every time we do these fucking like 8-person in between split episodes, there's 89 topics to talk about, and the show is already 2 hours. We don't have time.
All right. Well, speaking of 2 hours, we're at 3 hours. So I just want to say, good job, gentlemen. Great episode today. It was a lot of fun.
Great episode.
Mm-hmm. Be back next week. Yeah, I got you raging. I got you going. He activated his curse technique. That's my favorite part of the episode. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure you leave a like. And audio listeners, we're back, man. We were on last week. Well, I'll upload it again to Spotify. And leave a review if you can. See you guys next time. Peace.
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 Anger. GG's, boys.
I gotta go quick for the wife.
All right, bro.